Live.
This week we have PlayStation losing their most successful CEO to retirement, the FTC looking to knuckle up for seconds, and Capcom attempting to outdo EA as the most hated gaming company in the world. I'm your host, Loke7, and joining me today is the lovely Cozy Beluga, Mr. Behind Them Sticks, Ham Solo, the man that likes games more than anyone alive, Mr. Matt Likes Games, and our special guest, Texas's very, very own Bloody Nux. Before we partake in this week's session of Digital Savagery, tell me, Cozy, are you feeling rosy?
Absolutely.
Why? Please tell us.
I've just been being very productive with my time in a way that I am normally productive, but I got some stuff done. Also, I'm gonna be going back to school, so there's that.
Hey,
And, yeah.
hey, if you're not learning, you're not moving forward.
You
Good on you.
agree 100%.
Welcome in Vincent Vega, early as usual. We're gonna start calling you Coach Vince at this point. Welcome in Ray Chi. Welcome in Tombo 901. Let's get to it. Bloody Nux. Before we start every show, we have a couple of customary questions that we ask our guests. The first one is, and you can pick how long or short this answer is, or your answer will be. But Bloody Nux, how did you fall in love with gaming?
Man, how did I fall in love with gaming?
You might want to change that.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
I don't. I really don't.
That's because you don't know what fun is.
So for me, I fell in love with gaming ever since I was a kid. Right? I never got along with my cousins. They were all very sporty, and my aunt actually really liked games growing up.
This is something.
I'm here for it.
So she ended up buying a PlayStation 1, but she wasn't able to keep it at her house because she didn't have a working television or really anything like that. So she ended up leaving it at my parents' house, and my dad didn't care for it. My mom didn't care for it. So I got to keep it in my room. And needless to say, because of that, I had access to it all the time. And I fell in love with gaming because I remember the very first game that I played by myself was Crash Bandicoot. So I played the hell out of that growing up before watching her play through Tomb Raider and then my cousins playing through Metal Gear Solid 1. So because of her leaving that PlayStation at our house, it gave me probably the biggest hobby and passion that I have in my life.
I feel like we need to add a beat to your response.
What's happened?
Does anyone have like a
I like what is that beat? Loke, I'm disappointed in that beat.
His rhythm is like I'm like, dude, like should I be
I'm
bumping my
disappointed
head
in your
to
rhythm.
this?
How did you produce
Well,
that rhythm? Where did it come
I'm
from?
sick,
Because
Cozy. I have a flu.
Cozy,
cut this-
produce a rhythm,
okay.
Cozy.
Hey, I have excuses.
Whatever.
And what are those excuses?
Well, I'm not from Wakanda, Texas. I can be rhythmically challenged.
Oh Lord.
That's true. That's true.
Bloody
Loke is the darkest
Fair
guy here.
Bloody Nux. What is the best game of all time?
Where'd you go? Best game of all time.
Easily.
Well, what's happening?
I don't
What-
know.
I think it's Bloody Nuts.
I'm here.
What's the best game of all time?
The best game of all time.
Yeah.
For me personally, it is Metal Gear Solid. That was probably the game that really got me.
Oh,
into
great.
everything.
Oh, great.
Now Luke's approving his voice.
Oh, great.
Here comes the
Oh,
cap.
great.
Here comes the cap.
Oh, great. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
we gotta hear
Oh,
this
great.
all show
Metal Gear
now.
Solid.
One second.
I figured out what's going on. Don't worry. I cleaned it up.
Now tell the truth.
No, you're good, bro. You're
No,
good, bro. You can
no.
put
No,
audio,
no,
you
no.
can put
See?
whatever you
Look.
want.
Oh,
It's
my God. No.
Dude,
No.
talk with your ass if you
Stop.
want, bro. It's fine. All right? As long as you're speaking the truth, it's all good.
Stop.
No,
Stop.
so-
Boss is here.
No, so for whole posterity is that no, Metal Gear Solid is probably one of the biggest games that has absolutely got me into gaming because it was one of the ones that blew my mind as a kid, right? So that one has absolutely stood out for me as probably my all-time favorite, followed closely by everyone who's followed me in any capacity in the gaming sphere knows that my absolute top series is the Yakuza or Like a Dragon franchise.
Oh.
I was like, that is like my absolute peak because
I knew
there's
Luke
no
was gonna
game-
like this guy.
Yeah.
I would say
This guy
there's
is
no
not-
game series. There's no
He's
game series
Texan, he
that
loves
has the
Metal Gear,
most
That's it on
dramatic,
PlayStation. Just fucking
over the top series. Like
Oh my
has
God.
one of the most overly dramatic storylines, and then
Yes.
its side stories are absolutely balls to the wall
Okay.
insanity.
It's also one of the
Yeah.
best rhythm games ever.
You're damn right. I was
Listen,
like, if
yes.
it's not Friday night, I ain't with it.
The karaoke and all that. Oh my god.
Hey, listen, I
It's
learned
really
how
something for everyone. It's literally something for
Yeah.
everyone. You can't play
It
a
really
Yakuza
is.
game. You might not like the story, but there's literally something in a Yakuza game
your
that
hand
you
shoulder.
will
to.
find and
There are
like.
so many mini games that you can go and do that will have you entertained. Whether you want to play golf, go to the batting cages, do as she said, karaoke, or in some cases there was also the disco dancing that you could do. Hell, if you want to run a
Dancing.
hostess club, you can do that too.
Oh, bro. You can do what a dude.
So many things. I was like,
Dude,
hell, and if like me, I've learned how to play so many different games because of the Yakuza series. Like I know actually how to play mahjong now. Like full on, I know how to play mahjong because I spent so much time trying to get all the achievements and completely 100% these games. I've learned
Yeah.
how to play so many of these games. The only one I don't know how to play still is shogi. I will never understand and comprehend shogi.
Shogi's
But
difficult.
mahjong, I can play mahjong any day of the week.
Oh, dude, you make me want to live in Texas just so me and you can hang out. Seriously.
Hey, listen, I tell everyone,
bro.
y'all come down my way. I was like, I'll take y'all out. I was like, I'll show y'all real barbecue. None of that fake stuff y'all got out there on the east and west coast. I was like, I'll show you how we get down in the south.
Real ribs.
Exactly. Real
Oh,
ribs. Y'all want
Luke,
brisket? I'll
Luke
show y'all
takes
good
care of his
brisket.
own cattle, though. He has a ton of it in his outback. Got a couple long horns, So I don't think he's new to any kind of Texas BBQ,
Oh my God.
brother. But I tell you what,
well,
I tell you what, some of the
Dark
some of the best ribs in barbecue I've had in general, Austin was fire.
Okay.
I recommend Austin, but I don't know where you live, Bloody in particular.
In the Alamo City, baby.
Oh wow, nice,
Mm-hmm.
nice. This man out south, way south.
All the
Yeah,
way.
sir.
Well, not all the way, but okay, pretty close.
We out there.
Welcome in, Mr. Joanna Dark. Says Metal Gear, best game of all time. Vincent Vega's not feeling it, biased. Welcome in, Mike Johnson. I will not be reading that comment, Mike Johnson. Tortoise Hawaii says the best game of all time is Rockstar Table Tennis. All right, mahalo, my brother. Sir X-Man says the biggest suck up moment I've ever heard for Luke. It's not sucking up when it's the truth. All right, Lady Fox.
It's sucking vertically. He's sucking vertically.
Wow.
Oh
thank,
yeah.
thank you for coming through, Lady Foxfire.
Lady
Cozy
Foxfire.
That's
HR
my sis right there.
will be in touch shortly. Mr. Jonah Duck with a
Uh,
1 month subscription for They Said Silver. Let's go, Metal Gear Solid.
heart,
Kojima
heart.
saved gaming. Yes, he did. Yes, Kojima
Uh,
saved gaming.
I will absolutely
Um,
agree with Mr. Joanna Dark right there. Is that the Like a Dragon series has
Mm.
amazing stories and over 7 games it has not lost its charm. Exactly. I was like, it has been able to truly encapsulate that crime drama every single time, and it can still make me cry to this day. I was like, I don't care how far left it comes from, it always gets me.
it's beautiful.
I
It
think
is
I'm still
because
beautiful.
on the
I think because there's so much to do and so much to concentrate on it, and they know what they excel at, and they know how to do
Exactly.
each component very well. You don't really have to change much when you know what you're excelling at and how to deliver a like for me, I'm one of those people that's 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna choose a different thing. I'm like, most gamers say they like something different, but I really do typically not like the same thing, and that's one of the few franchises where I'm like, you know what, I love this. I need my mini games and stuff.
Big
I'm
facts.
shocked
I
because
agree.
you've never brought that up. Like this is the first time you've actually like gone in
You've
depth
not heard me
on the
talk
love
about
for Metal.
how it's like the greatest rhythm franchise ever?
Not to like this extent, because you always like kind of caveat that yeah, it's cool. There's some nice elements, but now you're actually talking about it like it's an actual good game. It's a good franchise. I'm surprised. That's all I'm saying.
I've always said it's the greatest rhythm game franchise, and if you know anything about me, I love rhythm games. And that's the joke, is that it's a great series, but it has crazily stellar rhythm games you wouldn't look at that and be like, "Hey, you want a good rhythm game? Play it."
Right,
Yeah, it
exactly.
doesn't look like it.
She makes an absolute good point. It's just like from a game that's just like, hey, I'm gonna go beat up people randomly in the street. It's just like I didn't know that the rhythm game was gonna be this tight. Hell, I didn't even think that the drone races were gonna be this good. Hell, I was like
Huh?
in Yakuza 0, I was like the freaking the pocket racer circuit, right? I was like, I spent so much time making the best damn car that I could for the pocket racer circuit. It was
Oh,
insane. I'm just like, yo, I want to go play circuit cars now. I was like, can I get into circuit cars?
grinding in the
Facts.
street, beating up gangsters so you can get money to buy the faster
Not just
cars.
gangsters, beating up kids, beating up those damn teenagers who don't know where they belong. Get back at school.
Yes, it is what it is. All right. This was fun. This was very fun. Okay, next one. So the questions do get incrementally harder, but they're not very hard. The next one is, what is the best console of all time?
Best console of all time?
Yes.
Honestly, Sega Dreamcast.
You
Sega
were gonna say
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast. I knew you were gonna say Dreamcast.
Sega Dreamcast was probably one of the most innovative consoles that came out at the worst time. You got to think that one, they introduced they were the first console to introduce profiles because you were able to save your individual data to a memory card that plugged into your controller. They were also the first to really push for online networking. Yes, the PS2 had online, but it didn't have it to the extent that the Dreamcast was pushing for. Sega also was the first one to patent the service of being able to download digital content. So they were the first to really look at potentially doing online DLC well before everyone else, as well as the fact of that the IPs and games that came out on the Dreamcast had to get ported to other consoles because when the Dreamcast was basically killed off, there was no way to play a lot of those games without having to go to other consoles, as well as the fact that the Dreamcast basically became the predecessor for what Microsoft would continue on with the Xbox. As the Dreamcast had so much going for it that it was just completely left out there because of how much success the PS2 had.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Like I didn't even bother with the Dreamcast because of PlayStation. But yeah.
Dude, the Dreamcast had some of the biggest. Like, you got to think that that's where Jet Set Radio came out. That's where Shenmue came out. All of those
Yep.
classic games that were like iconic had to
2K.
get ported to other 2K. They had to get ported to other consoles because of the death of the Dreamcast. That's what people fail to understand is that without the Dreamcast, we wouldn't have had a lot of those games that came out at that time that
GameCube
we would
got
go
Sonic
back and reminisce
Adventure.
about.
I was pissed. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Yep,
This doesn't look right. Why are you on Nintendo?
Damn.
exactly.
Stankball, hey, welcome it, dude. Where you been, man? Stankball, I haven't seen you in here for a minute, dude. Hope you're good. Well, Bunty, Wagwan. The
He
whole
had to
Dreamcast
escape
thing.
Jim Ryan's closet.
He had to get out of there.
Oh
He's
Lord.
like, don't let him know that I got out.
Fantasy Star Online.
Sorry.
Fantasy Star Online.
Yeah,
What's
Fantasy
up with
Star
Fantasy
Online.
Star?
I was
Oh, it's
like the whole
GameCube as
Fantasy
well?
Star series. Let's be the whole Fantasy Star series was
Ugh.
all on Dreamcast, and Online was the first one that came out back then on the Dreamcast, and then it stayed in Japan after the Dreamcast basically died off before they did Fantasy Star Online 2, which only was mainly on PC and everything else for the better part of a decade before finally coming over here, thanks to Sega and Microsoft's relationship before bringing it now to PlayStation everywhere else. Like Fantasy Star Online 2, people fail to realize has been going on for over a decade because of Japan.
I used to play it on PC way back when when you had to do the translations and stuff, and then every time they did an update, the translations got broken, and then you were like, "Oh my god!"
Mm-hmm.
Fun times.
She's like, I'm out here having to learn to speak Japanese.
Pretty much. But Cozy will do anything to me not be called a weeb, so there's that. Last one.
No,
And
Cozy. It's okay. Embrace the weebiness. Be like me. Become the weeb because then it will never hurt you. It will only
No,
bring you inner
it doesn't
peace.
hurt me.
Dang.
this I get it.
I'm
Said
into some
concede.
things that have. I'm into some things that are Japanese, but I'm not like into things that are just into things just because they're Japanese. Like I
That's
don't really like
okay.
anime that much.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point,
See,
Cozy.
but that's fair. I would say, and that's the thing about what people don't understand about the term otaku is that otaku, everyone just looks at it as nerds, anime lovers, that kind of stuff. No, I'll say otaku is specifically people who are passionate about a certain hobby or subculture. Like there's military otakus, people who literally love anything military tech, all sorts of like they're the kind of Japanese fans that will go out and get model guns because of the fact that they can't own actual guns out in Japan. Just like there's car otakus out there's art otakus. Like it's all about
Artakus?
just otaku. It's literally it's just like
Artaku.
all about embracing whatever subculture or fan base or whatever hobby you have.
So is there such a thing as a Xbox taku?
Yeah,
in
just
Japan?
let's say most gaming otaku out there have their preferences, but they're all just a part of the gaming otaku culture. Like, specifically for Xbox in Japan, is that it really fell off after
It's like
the
5 guys, right?
three. Funny enough, no. Uh, I have a whole article that I broke down about the history of Xbox in Japan. Is that the original Xbox had interest? It's just that there wasn't enough support for it until the 360, which was a massive success in Japan, which is why they had a lot of the biggest exclusives out there. Like you cannot play Shin Megami Tensei 9 on any other console but an OG Xbox because it was an exclusive to the OG Xbox. Just like you can't play Lost Odyssey or Blue Dragon. I would say there was a
Blue
lot
Dragon,
of
man. I'm sorry.
We need
collaboration.
a sequel to
People are
Lost
still
Odyssey.
capping. People are still
We do
capping
need a
for
sequel to
Blue
Lost
Dragon.
Odyssey.
I don't get it. Lost Odyssey, yes. Blue Dragon, I don't get it. People are still capping for that game.
Because
I
you
don't
probably are like,
understand.
it looks gross. We know you.
It's not that it
probably
looks
do.
gross. It's just boring.
That's because you're no fun. It's just
That
boring.
she makes
It's
a good
boring.
point. That is no fun. I was like Blue Dragon. is also one of the more obscure IPs out there, even when it comes to the anime and manga that came out because of the game. I would say it's just very different because of the fact that it's not what most people had expected from Mistwalker at the time. Besides what we obviously got with Lost Odyssey, which is when you think about the granddaddy of Final Fantasy, you expect something like Lost Odyssey.
All right. Let's keep it moving. Last one, and this one is the easiest one. Piece of cake. What is the best current console? So talking about Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series X or S, or the PS5, digital or uh, CD.
For me, it's the Xbox Series X. Hands
Why are you
down, I
looking
was like
down,
the
Look?
amount.
Look up. Look
I
up.
was
why?
like, the
Put your
thing
chin
about
up,
it
See
is
Look.
that
that
blue shirt?
the thing
Let
about it is
Matt
that
explain himself. Go ahead.
if you look at it from a technical standpoint and a technological standpoint, I was like the amount of engineering that went into this, that Jason Ronald and the team really put into the console, is just second to none. I'd say they were able to make something more powerful than what they already had. They miniaturized it and used brand new methods of engineering that hadn't even been utilized, that they named the techniques after several of their engineers that are now being utilized in other ways. I was like, not only that, they have one of the most profound and amazing emulation technologies in their own built-in operating system that they're able to utilize to keep playing multiple generations of a game console on one system. So that means that they had to ensure that
Which
the
doesn't get
CD
talked
drive
about
that
very
they
much.
use, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
They have to ensure that the CD drive that they have in there has the specified laser to be able to read many different types of discs. Because nowadays everything runs off a Blu-ray disc, but you have to think that there were old HD DVD discs, there was old CD discs, there was several different types that they have to ensure can be read to then be utilized to digitize that data, because everyone talks about how most of those old games are just downloaded from the servers to then be read to be played, but they still have to be able to read the discs to be able to know what is the information that they're trying to install. That is a pure level of technological achievement that does not get enough recognition.
I would agree with that.
All right. Smash the like button.
Collect your thoughts, Look. Come on.
Yeah,
Don't-
that's
don't be
very
so- don't be so down.
melodramatic. That was very
Don't be so down,
melodramatic.
But it's
Don't
not
worry,
really-
Loke, we're still friends.
I told you guys I was sick. What are you guys talking about?
Always sick.
Mhm.
I'm sneezing, I'm
Yeah.
wheezing, I'm drinking water and pills. Y'all
Oh, we
talking
know.
about-
We know you're
Make
sick.
sure you
We know you are.
make sure you get your Gatorade, get your electrolytes. Keep yourself
Yeah.
hydrated now.
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
energy drink, just water.
Get yourself,
Just
get
some
water.
yourself some
salt.
Brondo.
Get some salt.
Some salt cubes. Yeah, some salt cubes. Get some
Get
of
yourself
that.
some Brondo electrolytes.
All right.
What the plants
All right.
crave.
Okay.
Always love when Foxy's here. Appreciate you, girly.
Before we get into it,
Yeah, hit
What
that
have you
like
been
button,
playing this
share
past
it out,
week?
y'all. Blah blah blah. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Look.
Oh yeah.
what games you been playing, bloody, this week?
So what I've been playing recently is I've been working my way through the Resident Evil 4 remake. Still trying to finish that up because I've been playing that on professional difficulty. I'm trying to start the so that way I can go to the Separate Ways DLC. I recently finished up Jedi Survivor. I've been playing through Lies of P. I just started the DLC for Wolong Fallen Dynasty, and I'm just going back to Judgment and Lost Judgment because I'm trying to do my cleanup of the achievements in those. So I'm trying to go for my completionist, 100% all the side stuff done, so that way I can start and finish up Like a Dragon Ishin and 5 and 6 before Like a Dragon Gaiden comes out later this month. And I'm cleaning up everything in Alan Wake 1 because I'm excited for Alan Wake 2 to come out later.
Oh.
Okay.
Alan
that's,
Moore awake.
That's a busy
Mhm.
schedule. Cozy, what you been playing this
Oh
week?
yeah.
Well, you're not gonna like the answer, so I'm gonna just say Jewel.
No. Be honest. If it's still Starfield, then say it. It's fine. I can
It's
take it.
still Starfield. It's still Starfield. I am going to get back into State of Decay. Every time they drop an update, it's like, great. I'm gonna hate myself, but I'm gonna jump back in. It's like they just drop updates to make the game like more of a challenge, and I'm already like barely surviving. So that'll be fun. And then
What
I'm
happened
waiting
to
for
the
the
one?
vampire. What?
What happened to the sequel to that zombie game? What's it called? State of Survival?
State
State of
State
Decay.
of Survive. State of Decay.
State of Decay.
Yeah.
They're still
Yeah.
working on it.
I cannot wait for State of Decay
It
3 to
looks
come out.
awesome.
Like
There
it
was
looks
Trailer looks nice.
amazing.
there was that thing
Well-
of news earlier today or last night, I think, where somebody, like an employee on their profile on LinkedIn, maybe, I'm not sure, had that the game was supposed to launch 2027, but then it got rescinded.
I did remember hearing something about that.
Rescinded or deleted. The post got
Deleted.
deleted.
I apologize. Deleted.
I do remember hearing something about that. I was like, all I know is that I put when State of Decay 2 first came out all those years ago, like within a week I had over 120 hours because I got the Ultimate Edition. So when State of Decay 3 comes out, I'm gonna put my life into that game all over again because it is such a good survival game. Like
It's
honestly,
definitely.
Go.
I was gonna say it's definitely worth a revisit. Because it's like honestly one of the best as far as like games. It's like live service. It is one of the best because they constantly have like really
Yes.
solid updates that completely
Change
revamp the experience
everything.
of playing it. Yeah, like
Yes.
the one they added where they've completely changed how plague hearts work, and it's like a nightmare even on easier difficulties. It's like you can't
Yes,
just
I do
you know
remember the nightmare changes where they made the
Yeah.
plague hearts like 7 times as bad and spawn more often. I'm just like, dude, this is insane. And then they added in the like nightmare difficulty, and then I know they just put out update 31, mind you, 31 major updates across the past 4 or 5 years that they've been putting
Yep.
into this game, and they introduced a brand new mode called Curveball, which will again completely change everything. So the amount of work that Undead Labs puts into that game is so completely underrated that there's no team that consistently does updates as much as they have put into that game to keep it going and have such a healthy, large fan base like that game does.
Exactly.
Hey,
Now I want to go back and play it.
State of Decay 3.
Yes, State of Decay 3 is
Okay.
going to be so great because they're moving to Unreal, and with the fact that they're working with all the other Xbox studios, and you're talking about like the granddaddy masters of Unreal, like being able to collaborate with like the Coalition and others. I was like, oh, the things that they could pull off, I'm excited for. I cannot
be
wait
good.
for when that game comes out.
Okay. Matt, what you been playing this past week?
Starfield and Cyberpunk. Starfield and Cyberpunk,
Awesome.
and they're both phenomenal.
Shouldn't you be asking what
Okay.
he's been licking?
Cozy,
I'm solo.
you
What you
need
been playing
to
this past week?
you need to calm down.
So
Man,
I've
what
been playing Starfield, Cyberpunk, and really that's it. I finally decided to go into the new game plus of Starfield. I literally
Let's
only
go.
had activities and mission board things, which I had to ask Matt because I was just doing mission board stuff over and over, and I was like, "Is this infinite?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're just gonna
Mhm.
keep giving you missions." So I was just like, "So I'm
Yeah.
just
You said you're gonna clear them.
essentially, yeah, I thought I was gonna clear or something, and I was like, so I'm essentially just being like a security guard in space." Like just doing all these different random things. I'm doing security, aka Amazon delivery, for like the rest of the time. So I might as well,
Yeah.
I might as well put this Starship Enterprise away in a save and go on ahead to this new game
Hey,
plus, and it's
that's what you got to do.
Yeah,
All right.
it's it,
Still not even.
I really wanted to push my my ship is freaking stupid. That
I
thing,
was
that,
like,
that enterprise I made was dumb. That thing was super strong.
Dude, did you see the person who built the hamburger spaceship? And that was all with no mods. Like I was dying laughing when I saw that thing. It made me think of the Krabby Patty mobile from SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's what I did. My
That's
shit, my shit was no mods at all, and it was a bitch to build, but it was really dope once I got it all done.
It was worth it. He's like, it was so worth it.
It was
Oh, yeah.
100% worth it. Actually, I'm gonna
okay.
put it on the screen
Before this
until we get into
devolves,
the topics and stuff because that shit
before this
lit.
devolves into
uh-oh.
Starfield, the podcast,
I would say, and you know what?
Uh,
If you want
Evolves.
to
You
talk
mean
about Cyberpunk,
evolves?
exactly.
devolves.
Yeah, this man's a
No.
hater.
Evolution.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Well,
hater, guys. I just know
You
Yeah.
are a
how
hater.
good.
You're a pony and a hater.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Look at
I
him.
need to join y'all though. I need to go back to I really, really need to go back to Cyberpunk because I played the hell out of it when it first launched because I didn't have any issues with it at launch. But I know it's
Same.
What were
like
you playing it
ever
on?
since I was playing on
Hold
the
on.
Series
What were you
X.
playing?
Same.
Uh,
Wait. The Series X was out when Cyberpunk came out?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't
It launched like a month
It
later.
launched. Yeah, it launched a month after the new console.
Yep.
Well, I didn't have a Series X at that time. All right, carry on.
It's all right. But yeah, no, it was so well done back then, and I know that they've completely revamped everything. I know now, especially with the 2.0, that I've heard nothing but great things. But I wanted to jump back in when they added the Edge Runners update when the anime dropped out last year, and now with they added more to the Edge Runners update with the release of Dogtown with the new DLC. And so many people that I know who watched the anime who found the new content, they're like, dude, you're not gonna be ready for this. I was like, no, my depression, I don't need it again, but I want it. Abuse me, please. Edge Runners is so good if you haven't watched it. I'm just saying.
I
Hashtag
think
biased.
everyone's watched it. All
I've
right,
No, I
not seen
haven't.
it.
I haven't seen it
I
either.
You
haven't
need to
either.
I
watch
haven't.
it.
dude.
Go watch it.
Ham, go watch it. Cozy, we know you don't like good stuff, so never mind. Ham, go and watch Edge Runners.
Oh
I
my
promise you,
goodness.
you will not
Oh
regret it,
my
Ham.
goodness.
Swear.
Shout out to DC Gaming. Jeez Louise, this man is a
DC
mess.
Gaming with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Says
Oh
donating
man,
one Whataburger to the chat.
Huh?
On that note, on
Ah.
I
that note,
appreciate that. That's right up the road. I can go and get some food.
on that note,
Get yourself a
we
snack.
have some side issues to address. Specifically to the issue regarding Mr. Dre Watson that has been on TSWS before as a
Mhm.
guest. Some stuff happened. Ham, please give us all the details.
So I'm gonna keep this kind of short and brief because it kind of stinks. Because I mean, I personally don't think he should be, or I think there is a side to him that's a good dude. I really do, because you can't pretend all of that. In my opinion, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but what he did to people within this gaming community is unfortunately unacceptable. And I just feel like I appreciate you, Luke, for bringing this up because it's something I do need to get off my chest, especially since he was here on this show. I promoted this
Yes.
person. I said, positive things about him and, had him on other, tried to get him, moving in the right direction and stuff like that. But as DC says in the chat, this dude's been doing it for years. Like the receipts were out there for, I mean, if you went back and listened to the space that they ended up having about it, like I actually it was a 6-hour space in it. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to about 3.5, maybe 4 hours of it, like just while I was gaming. And like he was there for a good portion of that lying and then admitting that he was lying. And just seeing that, like, it's one thing to do all that stuff, but then to sit there in front of everybody and just lie repeatedly until they figure it out for themselves is just insane. So, like, I mean, I reached out to a few folks that I know rocked with him. You know, I rocked with him. Some of the other folks I reached out, I'm not going to use any names, gave him money. And I was like, yo, like, this is crazy. And they said they would have never seen it coming. I don't think any of us really would have seen this coming from the person that he displayed to be. He seemed to be one of the dopest people in the community, in my opinion. I thought he was that guy that was like kind of the like he is more of a PlayStation guy, but I thought he was more kind of like fairly kind of
He was.
neutral-ish,
Neutral.
kind of.
An actual
didn't-
neutral.
He was never
He wasn't
toxic fanboying. He was just like, this is what I
Mhm.
play on, and this is my games, and he just that's just how he was.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
just to see all this kind of stuff come out and then to know that he's in the space hearing it and he's not fighting for anything. Like he walked in there, said a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of it got debunked. And he just sat there and he'd speak up a little bit. And like I seen people get in that space and get mad. Some people I'd never seen get mad before. I was hearing them just like pretty much begging him, would you please just tell the truth? Everyone's just like, we know what you did at this point. You're guilty. We know that. That's done. Can you please just tell the truth? And he just wouldn't. And then once somebody came on the space talking about some of the legal ramifications, he shut down his Twitter. Right then and there. Shut down his Twitter and just like tucked tail and ran. And
Mhm.
yeah, I was just, I personally like I know I didn't give him any money or anything. There's a lot of other people as well that didn't give him any money that just felt like some type of way. Like we felt like our space was just kind of invaded a little bit by somebody that we thought was dope. Somebody that we, you know, yo, have you talked to this person? He's pretty dope. I highly recommend that you have him on your show. Like we open up our hearts in this gaming community. We're kind of cold or we're extra welcoming. Both sides, even the kind of cold people, open their hearts up and allow you into their space. Whether you agree with what they say, whether they're trolls or not, they still have a heart. And some of these people opened their heart up more than others, and they got just freaking mollywopped with just horrible news about this. So I just wanted to speak on it real quick. I don't want to drag it out too much. I'm just want to say sorry to everybody that's out there. Sorry that everybody got to hear me promote this dude, because I mean I can apologize, but I mean you guys know what it is. I mean it's nobody's real fault at the end of the day. We just kind of got conned into thinking he was more than what he was, or maybe he is really just a nice guy that just, you know, did something wrong and then just kept taking advantage and just kind of got addicted to it. And you know what? If that is the case, either way, if he took advantage after, you know, actually needing it, either way, I just can't rock with it. It's just something that, like, even if he came out and apologized, I'd be like, I appreciate it. But it's just like, you know, that woman that cheated on you or something like that. They apologize. That's cool that you apologize, but we're still going our separate ways.
Yeah. It doesn't change what was done.
that we get back together. Too big with the $10 super chat says for Cozy's foods wild food segment of the week and generalized support for the channel. Too big. Thank you
Um,
very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, Cozy.
We need a cozy food segment. We
so
haven't had one for a
I have
while.
a surprise. I have a surprise, but it'll be a
Oh,
Been
no.
slacking
surprise.
recently. She's been slacking.
I'm make it happen next week. You will be
There we go.
surprised. It involves eggs, but it's not like last time.
No, I
All
hope it
right.
ain't like last time because that shit was foul.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're gonna be
Remake
surprised by what Cozy eats. I don't
Remake
know.
Station says, "Who are you
Mhm.
talking about? I came in late. What happened, huh?" Remake Station. There was a guy named, or there is a guy named Dre Watson, who put forward a persona on Twitter and Discord and all these other socials that we all use, and his persona was like, "Good dude, definitely should get a platform, a space to speak and hang out with people and whatever. Cool, cool, cool." And he started just randomly asking people for money, talking about he needs it for like personal struggles, financial struggles, like serious levels of financial struggles. Not stuff like, oh, I can't afford my PS Plus, but like, I haven't eaten today, stuff like that. And people would send like $50, $100. And
Mhm.
it came out that apparently he's been kind of coasting on that. It wasn't one of those situations where he kind of just needs help to get back on his feet. Turns out, maybe, possibly, definitely, he was using it to just support him bumming off of everyone. And
I mean, people have
that's the
receipts for him on
mistake.
Lyft. People got receipts up to $1,200 from one person.
Jesus,
Mhm.
dude.
I mean, it is. I mean, like I said, it's not just the dude was caught asking for cash. He was caught doing it for years and continuously asking the same person.
Okay, so
And
DC Gaming says
yeah,
it wasn't random, meticulously targeted individuals with no voice or people he got too close with. God damn. Um,
Mhm.
Listen, the thing for me, right? Um, what really breaks my heart here, and Ham said no jokes, so I will not. I had a perfect joke. I'm not going to lie. I do have a banger joke for this topic, but Ham, me and Ham agreed that we're gonna keep this strictly like just fucking straight down the line. So I'm gonna keep it straight
Mhm.
down the line. The heartbreaking thing about this is that there are people who do need the help. I want to shout out a mutual of mine, Spooky. Spooky actually needs the help. He is trying
Yep,
to move his
spooky.
family to the US. The situation where he is right now is very rough, and people like him will now get uh people will doubt their stories
Mhm.
because of stuff like Dre. So this is not one of those situations where you cry wolf and then it only affects you. This is, to use another crass analogy, but I think it's an analogy that fits, is like the chicks that uh cry for grape and then people find out that it's fake. What happens is when other women actually get graped, then people are like, I don't know, man. We all remember what happened the last time. Same thing with the whole Dre Watson thing. That's my big takeaway. It's like, dude, I don't really care that, you know what, we all have egg on our face or whatever. What breaks my heart here is that, dude, there are people willing to do more than just press like on your tweet about I am struggling. And these people are getting screwed. So what happens when someone actually needs it? These people that have the resources, they have the time, and they have the heart to do it will now be like, I don't know, man. The last time I did this, it didn't end well. So what? I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So that's my big takeaway from this. Uso Vinny with the $2 super chat. Welcome in, Uso. Says PlayStation better grapes or not? Oh Lord. Okay.
Oh
Oh,
no.
whoa. Oh, whoa.
My
You know,
goodness.
Oh.
hear me out. Hear me out.
Go ahead, Cozy. Go ahead.
No, I had nothing to add to that. I just
Thank
wanted to say,
goodness.
hear me out.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on, please.
Yeah.
Lady Foxfire said he asked for someone. He asked someone for money who was sick and had to. God damn.
That's okay. I wasn't gonna say anything because I don't know this person, so I have no personal stake in it. So that's why I'm gonna be able to
What?
keep it. I'm gonna keep it 100% unbiased in this. Looking at a lot of what's come out, this is upsetting because of the fact that I've been in a situation where I've needed help, but I don't ever ask for help because of the fact that I'm the kind of person that will sacrifice everything that I can and figure something out for myself before I ask. And if I ask for help anytime, there's only very few specific people who I know who've said, I'll help you out. Outside of that, I'm not going to ask the general public or anyone else. Knowing the fact that he has years of doing this, that he's asked for people who actually been in worse situations than what he's in, is even more disgusting. Because the fact that if there's someone who needs surgery, right, and you ask them for money, they need that more than you. It's just like, I get it. I was like, going without food is hard to do, but not having an operation that could potentially help you
Bro.
with an injury or save your life is even worse. So the fact that knowing that he asked someone like that just irks me in the worst possible way.
And now that you guys brought that up, I now have a confession to make. But real quick, let me read Too Big super chat with a $5 super chat. Too Big, thank you very much. He says PlayStation making a comeback finally with the new leadership coming in. Too Big, what comeback? You have to be down to come back. What are you talking about? Anyway, to this whole thing, right? Ham,
Yeah.
you know me very well, and you know about all the struggles I've had all this time since we met.
Right.
One of the reasons I do my very freaking best to not ask for anything from the community is not just because of stuff like this, but because of the stigma. Do you want to add to the stats of, oh yeah, first off is, oh, black dudes, con artists, don't trust them. They're a suspicious bunch. Do you want to add to the statistics of, oh, I met an African gamer. Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, you guys play. Yeah, we play once in a while. Oh, the African gamer is now asking you for whatever. I don't know, man. This sounds like some Nigerian prince stuff that's been updated
I
to
was about to say
2023.
the same thing, Luke. I was like, are you
Oh,
secretly a Nigerian prince that's gonna be gifting everyone $22 million if they help you out with $5 for food?
the hell, bro. So nah, man. For me, I've been in situations, but I've always been like, nah, I'm not going. I will not be the person to contribute to all these stigmas and these assumptions people make. So nah.
Mhm.
Uso says,
Yeah.
oh God, go
Remember
Texans.
when
All right.
I was super unemployed?
Texans!
When I was super unemployed, yeah, someone from one of the Twitter gaming people actually bought me groceries. And I was like, oh, I didn't ask, but I was just like, I was making a joke about it. You know, I make jokes. I was like joking about it, but
Don't we
I
all?
was serious. But I was like, but I knew I'd be fine because I was like, and I was telling them like, yeah, I'm just gonna go down to like, cause there's a food pantry down the street, like those open ones you can walk in and take what you want. And I was like, yeah, I just grabbed like a bag of beans and rice from there. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, it's fine. And he was like, no, I'll be out. And I was like, okay, thank you.
To be
So what's
fair,
fucked up is
I was right there with you, Cozy. I was like, you think that I've been unemployed for almost 3 months?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna go to the food pantry. I was like, I'm gonna apply for SNAP. I was like, whatever I gotta do to make sure I can get food. I was like, I'm gonna do before I ask anybody for $1.
Mhm.
Never.
so what's heartbreaking, guys, is that because of what he did, people randomly now when Cozy or Bloody or me or anyone else actually needs help. Now people will be like, what are you, Dre 2.0? You know what I mean? So that's the worst part about this whole thing is that you didn't just screw yourself. You are now creating distrust in the entire community. You had people spamming like oh no, my circle is now tiny. It's only the people that I have known for 20 years or whatever. Screw all these new whatevers. And it's like, dude, see what you've done. You didn't just harm yourself, you've harmed everyone. That's what's like heartbreaking. Fox says I'm
Absolutely.
Hispanic as fuck. I
Absolutely,
figured it
Foxy.
out. I sell some shit I don't need to buy, but always ask the familia. Oh, okay.
You put the shit in the jars first. Never mind.
Yeah. What she's basically saying is that, especially in the South, especially among Hispanics, is that we're the kind of people that we grew up with a lot of nothing. So if we don't have anything, we'll give up whatever we got to get by. I was like, it's a survivor mentality that's very, very big down here. It's like I've been
And
the
then
same
you
way. I was like,
figure it out.
I worked contract job. Like things people don't know. I was a contractor for a temp agency, and I never had a consistent job for 2 years, but I jumped from contract to contract working all whatever hours because it's like I need work and this the only thing that's paying right now. That's more than what I'm gonna make at the McDonald's for $7 during minimum wage, 10 years ago. I was like, give up anything, start selling stuff, whatever you gotta do to get by to make sure you can before you have to start asking for money because no one wants to ask for money, even though, especially amongst family down here, it's just like if you need something, we got you. It's just like, I get that, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to rely on
Yeah.
that.
McDonald's
Yeah.
And
pays
then on
like
the other
15
side,
here.
Yeah, nowadays, but like a
Nowadays,
decade
yeah.
ago, yeah, I was gonna say a decade ago when I was in college, I was like, that was making minimum wage. I ain't doing all that. So guess what? I'm gonna go bust my ass at 5 o'clock in the morning, digging ditches and helping to take care of the forests out here because that was the only thing that was paying like $12.50 at the time. So if that's what I had to do, that's what I was gonna go do.
facts. Uso Vini with the $1 super chat sends a hot dog. Thank you, Uso. I mean,
I'll take the hot
I need
dog.
the
I like hot
money.
dogs.
I need the money to play
Hot
for
dog so good.
PS Plus.
Glizzy.
Oh, dude, those TikToks. You know what? Let's not get into that.
God.
Okay.
Uh,
The next side
Why did you do that so
side
well?
topic.
I'm mad, Matt, that you did that so well.
You just sent
Dude, I've
us
seen that video
way too
so
well.
many times.
Yes.
You did that so
prime
well.
glizzy.
I've seen that video so many times.
Thank you. I was
Okay.
like, I've seen the same thing, so that's why I'm just like, I can recreate that real quick.
Yep.
All right. The next side topic before we get into the actual show. I can't believe we still have another side topic.
And it's been an hour. It's
Ham
insane.
insisted. Yeah, Ham insisted we do this, so we're doing it. I
Let's do it.
currently do not have my Xbox Series X.
Oh,
Not because
Yeah.
I'm
What's
partisan,
going on there?
not because I'm partisan to PlayStation, but because my brother,
Okay.
his Xbox Series X had some issues. His son sabotaged it essentially, and
Why
he
you let your
needed a
kid touch
console.
it?
He needed a console. I offered him the PS5. He wanted the Series X.
Smart man.
We had a we had a light debate on the benefits and drawbacks of both consoles, including
And
the
he
fact
still
that
went with the
the PS5
Xbox.
You know what? I'm not.
let,
I
no,
don't
no.
do
Let him
sales.
finish.
All right?
Let him finish. Let him cook. Let him cook.
No, he's cooking.
He's
I'm
in the kitchen
microwaving at this
now.
point. I'm microwaving. This is not cooking. Anyway, point is, we discussed. I tried to sell him on the PS5. He insisted on the Xbox, and I was like, okay, what if I don't give you? What if I say I'm not going to give you the Xbox because Starfield is currently taking over my life, and Cyberpunk is about to get DLC, so I definitely need the Xbox. And it was like, I would rather you don't give me anything if you're not going to give me the Xbox. So
Damn.
Oh,
I gave him
Damn.
the Xbox. That's why I haven't played Cyberpunk. That's why I'm not playing Starfield right now. So that's the story of what happened to my Series X. I should get it by the end of October, so I'm definitely going to get I'm gonna get Metal Gear on the PS5. He
Yeah.
needs he needs a
Ooh.
month to get the money together to buy another Series X.
You got
You guys
to
do
pay
not.
him to
You
take
don't
your
need to comment.
PS5.
You gotta
You guys
pay
do
him to
not
take.
need. You guys do
I
not need to
mean,
comment.
I would have done
You
that.
know,
I was like, I
so
was
we can
looking for a
move on.
PS5 for so long, man.
We can
Pay
move
me
on
to
to
take
what
it
are you
off of.
saying?
subject. We can move on to the next subject if you don't want to comment. It's fine.
No,
No,
no, no.
no,
I was just gonna
no.
say.
I'm
I was just gonna say
Oh
real
my God!
fast
Look at
that
you guys. You're falling over each other
come
to
on, Loke.
speak.
No,
Christ.
no. I was just gonna say real fast, Loke. I mean, you're not playing Xbox. So we were talking about this before we started the show.
Christ, Sam. Even that
you're
you want to bring on to
still
the show.
playing Xbox,
Lord in
right?
heaven.
Like what did you just download to your PC? What were you playing just moments ago?
I downloaded Everspace 2, High on Life, and Sea of Stars
Ah.
to the
That's
PC.
good.
Ooh, Sea of
Isn't that
Stars is so
isn't that
good.
pretty cool how you can lend somebody your Xbox and you can still play your game?
I'm
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
answering.
Because the
I'm
fact
not
that you
answering a
got your
rhetorical
PC
question.
and you got
I'm
it
not
on
answering
the
a
Game
rhetorical
Cloud.
question.
I'm just
See,
saying,
here's the
you
thing,
know?
Loke. I was like, I'm gonna say what you did is a good thing,
Mhm.
lending him your console and stuff like that, because that reminds me of something that someone in our gaming community did, and I'm pretty sure everyone here knows him. I was like, Dragonheart Yobi is probably one of the realest people that's out here in the community with
Yeah,
how much
yeah.
he
Big
goes
facts.
out and
Peace,
supports everyone.
peace, love,
And
life. I think.
I love Yobi. Yobi is absolutely my brother. Like, I want to take him out whenever I see him
Big
because
facts.
3 years ago, for those who don't know, I was working a good job at the time and was able to get my Xbox Series X at launch. However, my partner Akumu was not able to get one. So I was trying to scrounge up whatever I could and find when it was really hard to get one to be able to get her one himself. I was talking with Yobi and he says, "Hey, I may be able to help you out with that." He's like, "Let me do something." I told him, I was like, whatever I gotta pay you, let me know and I'll give you the money. He said, all right, I'll let you know. 2 weeks later, he lets me know. He's like, hey, what's your address? He's like, send me $200. So I was gonna send him $200, and I didn't hear from him for a few days. And he said, actually, he's like, don't worry about anything. He's like, check your mail today. I was like, what are you talking about? This man literally gave me a brand new Xbox Series X that he got from his brother who wasn't using it and didn't ask for a single cent from me to give as a gift to my partner. Right?
God,
I was
damn.
like, that is why I know that man is probably one of the most genuine people out
He
there.
is. He really is. Because let me go on ahead and keep it a buck. I was on K Mega Show last week and I was talking about these new PlayStation headsets that I got right here. These what are they called? The H7s or something like that. The in zone ones, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I was talking about and I kind of like them and everything. They got a 40-hour battery life and everything on it. And Yobi caught that I said I was in need of headsets. He caught that part of the conversation, right? And he was just like, he sent a message in the chat and said, "Yo, Ham, if you need a pair of headsets, I'll send you a pair of some A50s that I got." I was like, "Bro, those are $300 headsets."
Jeez.
Hey, this guy needs to send it to
Seriously.
Mozambique. That's what he needs to
I was
do.
like, "Yo,
This man
Yobi,
throws.
you're watching.
This man will give up
You're
money
watching. I'm in
and
Mozambique. All
things
right.
for so many other community. That's why it's like, out of anyone out there, is like, no, I will never let anyone say a word about that man because he is probably the most genuine, heartfelt, positive person who absolutely looks out for everyone.
yeah." I was telling him, I was like, "Yo, I don't need those because I got these ones, and I feel like you should pass those on to somebody else that might need them." And he's like, "Yo, dog, that deal was just for you. It is what it is."
Right?
He's like, I'm just gonna keep them. That deal was just for you. I just thought you might need something." I was like, "God damn." I was like, "I'm
Mhm.
good, but goddamn, it." I had to let him
This,
know. I
you
was like,
guys.
it's
This.
just insane that he is willing to do that, right? It's just insane.
That's
in
where
my
this
opinion,
came
but it's
from.
dope.
Remember?
Exactly.
Remember, you guys, my mic was fucking up. And excuse me, my mic was screwing up. And like, yeah, this is where this came from. He got me a mic.
Nice.
Crazy, mad supporter,
Mhm.
mad supporter.
So
Mad.
now you go ahead and you screw people like that.
Yep.
What are you doing to the community? You know. So anyway,
Mhm.
is that all you guys have to say on my brother having the Series X? Can we move on? Can we start
Yeah, we
talking
can
about
move
Yep.
Jim
on.
right now?
Let's go.
Awesome.
Oh, what are we gonna talk
Let's
about
do it.
next?
Let's
Your
talk about your
mom?
other brother. We're gonna talk about your other
Oh,
brother.
got him.
Got him.
At a
I'll,
girl.
I'll share that joke with my
Call him
mom when I
out.
go and visit her at the cemetery next week. PlayStation boss
Jesus.
Jim Ryan to retire
Je-
next
Jesus.
You
spring.
don't keep your mom in an
Jim
urn? How
Ryan.
uncivilized.
Jim Ryan,
For
who's been
real.
president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment since 2019, is retiring in March 2024, Sony announced today. The news broke via a post on Twitter, I'm not calling it X, ever.
No one
Twitter.
ever is gonna call it X. Let's be 100% honest.
From Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, also known as gaming journalism's Michael Jordan, before Sony confirmed it with their own announcement shortly after. Hiroki Totoki will assume the interim CEO role starting on April 1st, 2024. The Sony Group Corporation President, COO, and CFO will also become chairman of Sony Entertainment starting next month to support Mr. Ryan in his transition. Additionally, Sony said Totoki will work closely with Sony Group Corporation Chairman and CEO Kenichiro Yoshida to navigate PlayStation's future, including the succession of the SIE CEO role. In a statement today, Ryan cited the difficulty of living in Europe while working in North America as the reason for the decision. This is a quote. And I quote, after 30 years, I've made the decision to retire from SIE in March 2024. Ryan said in a statement, I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners. But I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. I will leave having been privileged to work on products that have touched millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be part of my life, and I feel more optimistic than ever about the future of SIE. I want to thank Yoshida-san for placing so much trust in me and being an incredibly sensitive and supportive leader. Bloody, as our guest, what are your initial thoughts on Jim Ryan's retirement?
You know, my initial thoughts is the fact of that it's always nice to retire. His reasoning, everyone can understand. Whether it's PR speak or not, doesn't change the fact that family and living situations are always hard to do, especially if you're living in an entirely different country in an entirely different region. So it's nice for him. He for the work that he's done at PlayStation, he's helped to keep it running as a very successful business. As a gamer, I don't think that he's made any massive innovations for the brand personally, and that's just my look. But the fact is that he's helped to keep PlayStation running very successfully as a numbers and as a business. So it's nice to see that he had such a successful career that he's able to go out like this year. I'm very interested to see how Hiroki Totoki is going to run it as the interim CEO for the time being, and who's going to take over if he doesn't fully take over. Because we know that there have been cases where there have been interim CEOs that will help run the business for a while, and then they just become the full-fledged. But overall, you know what? Jim Ryan has had a very long career. It's nice to see that he's finally stepping back. And I hope that the future continues to be great for the brand, and hope that he's able to enjoy whatever comes next for him, whether he fully steps back and leaves the industry fully, or if he decides to find something else to do here. Hopefully he's successful in whatever he does.
You muted, Loke?
Sorry,
No,
I was
he's
sneezing. That's why I.
yeah, know what he's doing.
Uh,
No one
you know
knows what
what?
he's doing.
Oh, good. Okay, Cozy. What are your thoughts on Jim Ryan's retirement next year?
He's old. He's
What?
He's
old.
like, he's old.
That's what
He is
happens when
old.
you're old, except for like it's not gonna happen to millennials. Working right
We're gonna
until
be
we die.
working till the day we die. Let's be 100%
Yeah,
honest.
we're gonna like die, working in the office or whatever. But
Absolutely.
he's old. He's like an older person. So yeah, it's time for he knows when to go. And yeah, it's probably hard, having to travel around a lot, especially when you get older. If your entire job is like, I've worked a lot of jobs where you're on the phone, and a lot of people who have to travel around for their jobs, they do get tired of it. Like, and a lot of times when I talk to the retired people who traveled around a lot, they're just like, I just want to sit at home. I don't want to. I don't want to spend the rest of my life just on the go. When you're constantly on the go, it's hard. And so I think a lot of people are making jokes about like, oh, him retiring, what you call it. He's probably actually just leaving on his own terms. It probably just, it's the optics of it don't necessarily look great to like people seeing on the outside, but for him, he's probably just leaving on his own terms.
Yep.
Which it makes sense. He's been there for ages, been doing things for ages, and now he's like, and if you read a statement about him, like, man, I travel, like all this travel, all these things, yeah, step back, step down, go do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
All right, so
And I
it's
think
just a
that's where it's at.
coincidence, right? It's just a coincidence. There's nothing to
Maybe.
that.
I
Matt,
believe it's probably just a coincidence.
yeah, Matt.
Now
Yeah.
Bobby
what are your
Kotick being
thoughts on-
gone, that's planned. Get his
That-
ass out.
Excuse me. Sorry, Matt, go ahead. Initial thoughts on Jim Bryan retiring next year.
I'm not too bothered by it. I mean, honestly, I don't love what's been going on with PlayStation this generation. I don't know if this is going to change anything immediately. So, I mean, I'm skeptical, but optimistic that they kind of pivot towards more of the PS3 generation. But I also really don't expect it at all, because that was my favorite generation for PlayStation.
They just need another Sean Layden and another Jack Tretton. Someone who's business focused but gaming oriented, who loves what they do. Because I don't know who at PlayStation. I was like, Jim Ryan, I don't know what you were thinking when you greenlit the Portal, because that thing is stupid. I'm gonna be 100% honest. That was stupid.
Yeah,
I was like,
that thing stinks.
It is absolutely awful. It's just like, who in their right mind thought this was a good idea? Because this is not it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's sold out. It is currently sold out everywhere.
Listen, it could be sold out because of the fact that they only had like 200 of them. I was like, they said the same thing about the PSVR 2, and that was a waste. I was like,
Well,
look at how
it's
they cut back
currently
all their.
tracking. The VR2 is currently tracking to surpass the VR1. Granted, not by a big margin, but it's still tracking to sell more than the first one. So that's
I'm
something,
waiting on
right?
that. I'm waiting on that.
I can understand where you're coming from on that one. It's like it can go past it all at once, but I was like, that's just like saying, hey, we sold 1,000 the first time. This is gonna sell 1,200.
Oh my god!
But they even said that they had to scale back their expectations because it wasn't selling what they thought it was gonna sell. And they did it so close after the first one, and the fact that all of your games from the PSVR 1 don't carry over to the PSVR 2, like, there was so many bad decisions besides just putting it out so quickly after the last one. That's what I'm saying, is that there are some decisions that were questionable.
So you guys,
yeah, there's a good amount.
The MetaQuest 3 is gonna be better.
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
I am actually looking at buying the MetaQuest 3, which speaks volumes.
That's not even something to discuss.
Well, it does so many damn things, right? It even has Game Pass.
The mixed reality. You know how I've been talking about mixed reality being like something that I've been like, yes. I really want to just. I want to get sick, getting drunk in Sea of Thieves in VR.
I agree with that. She's like, I'm gonna be on the boat, and she's like, I'm gonna get sick for real. I'm gonna get seasickness.
You commented on a video with Mark Zuckerberg getting interviewed, and it looked so real. That's when I was like, okay, maybe VR is like
this is honestly the first.
Arrived.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been like, looking at like, I think I might buy this. before that, I'm like, you couldn't have sold me. But the MetaQuest 3, I think, is the first one where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to try it.
Okay.
The
Rachie with the
MetaQuest 2 was
$2
nice.
Canadian super chat says, last day to get Marvel's Avengers before delisted. It's important to get these games. I don't like Marvel's Avengers. I will not be getting it. But it's important to get these games before they get delisted because this is the type of stuff we talk about when we say that physical.
Game preservation. Yep. And physical.
Yeah, physical is important. It's because of stuff like this. Sure, Marvel's
Unless it's a game
Avengers,
like Babylon's Fall, which absolutely does nothing.
sure, whatever.
I forgot
Point
that
is,
it existed.
Yeah.
we have to defend the fact that that every game should be available forever, especially to the people that bought it.
Oh, agreed. Without a doubt.
So
100%.
it's important to keep note of this. So if you want to eventually, if this game is in your backlog, get it. It's dirt cheap right now. You would have to pay me to play Marvel's Avengers. All right, you have to pay me, and I'll pay it
Or,
bad.
Loke, if they have Xbox and they have those Microsoft rewards, $5, all you need.
Are you trying
Yeah.
to trigger me right now? There's no
I'm not.
Microsoft rewards for Africa.
Hey, guess what? Someone can gift it for you there.
There you go.
Again, you're gifting to someone that is telling you to your face that they will never install this.
It's okay. It's all about preservation, like you said. About keeping it safe.
Exactly.
Hey man, it's your money, bro. Do your thing. Anyone wants to
It's
gift
not
it,
my
feel
money.
free.
It's Microsoft's money.
Oh my god. All right, Kesante. I'm not doing very well, Kesante. I've got a heavy flu right now. Wow. Too big. Thank you
Got
so much.
ponyitis.
Too Big just gifted 10 TSWS gaming memberships. Thank you so much. And I love you guys for just immediately spamming freaking redeem. Dude,
Oh, yeah,
remember
allow
having
gift.
the first
Yeah.
time? Remember the first time people gifted memberships? It took a minute for people to like not just allow, but for people to actually I don't know, like get the gift. Now it's like they're waiting. Thank you so much, guys. Kesati says Marvel's
Thank
Avengers
you.
campaign is amazing. No joke, but just the get. Oh, settle down. Amazing. This guy.
I agree.
This guy, Kesante. Stop it. Cut the cap.
No, he's not.
Asante!
He's not
No,
lying though. The single player story focused around
Nux,
Kamala Khan was
to do
really
this,
well
Nux.
done.
Nux, we're not about to do this. We're not going to edit
We are about to do this.
single
You're
second.
talking to the comic
We're
book
not about to
aficionado
add.
here.
We're not about
You
to add
don't
a
even
single
know comic
second
books. You don't even know
to freaking
games.
discount Mr. Fantastic.
You don't like fun.
We're not about to do it. We're not about to dedicate one more second to discount diversity, Mr. Fantastic. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it.
Wait,
all right?
what?
Ham Solo.
Oh, no.
PlayStation boss Jim Ryan to retire next spring. What's your take?
Oh man, I've been hearing some mighty safe takes in here so far, so I'm just gonna come out and say it.
I was waiting.
PR.
I was waiting.
PR. This looked like a PR stunt, in my opinion. Just the timing on it and everything just looked gross. It did. I mean, you have this man taking all these flights, not just to Japan and America,
Mostly
but
to the UK.
also flying around trying to figure out this case, and he ain't cracking it.
There it is.
But at the same time, he revealed a whole lot of what PlayStation does in the background, some of the things that they are okay with and not okay with or have been doing for quite some time has been released. I feel like he's done PlayStation well in the dollars department, but like but as a person that's looking into the future of, hey, what is this Like as for a lot of us that are in gaming, I mean, a lot of us have been saying for quite some time, even after the showcases and stuff like that, what's the future for PlayStation? It seems like they're asking us the same question. What, we don't know either. What is the future? What do you want? Because I mean, it's just weird. The only thing that I've really seen from PlayStation in the last year when it comes to what to look out for is the same thing that fanboys have been complaining about from Xbox. What's up with all these accessories? Where's the games? Right? I mean, you just bought Audis. You just put out this PlayStation VR 2, which we have less than a handful of games that you've personally worked on for it to currently play. We got monitors, we got headphones, we got freaking a portal handheld that you have to use for the internet. But what are we getting for games from them this year? Tia
Forget Spider-Man.
and Spider-Man. What's next year?
Don't discredit Spider-Man. Wait, what
What's
did we get
next
earlier
year?
this year?
No, I'm just saying, what's next year?
Wait, are you saying that's all that came out this year from PlayStation? No, that's not possible. There must have been.
You could
Come
throw
on,
in
look.
Final Fantasy.
I mean, no,
but
Mike. I mean, not Mike. Matt. Let this man think. What else came out for PlayStation, bud?
Let me Google
First
it.
party. First
Let
party.
him Google it.
that's
No.
difficult.
Let him
That's
Google it.
difficult.
Let him Google it. Let's see how
Thing.
Jim Ryan's been riding this
The thing is,
Expo. Let's
we
see.
know that most people
How's this
are
heavy
only
Chevy
playing
been riding down
PlayStation.
the highway?
People are only playing PlayStation mostly because it's the popular console. They're not playing PlayStation because it's the
Yeah.
Chevy. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing
I-
PlayStation because it's but because you care about the exclusives. They're playing it because it's the popular console. That's
We
most
know that
people,
already,
right?
though.
Exactly.
Of
Yep.
course, we
we
know
been
that.
doing that.
Factions? Oh no, that didn't come out.
No,
They aren't-
factions.
But the
Factions.
thing is, PlayStation
What are you
isn't
talking
Nintendo.
about, Lo?
PlayStation isn't
Um,
Nintendo, where people are just like,
Rise and
yeah.
Fall of the Mountain. That was the thing.
Yeah, that's for the
It
VR.
sure was.
It's for
It
the
sure
PlayStation
was.
VR,
isn't
Lo.
Nintendo though.
It's a VR
where
exclusive.
Hey, you asked for exclusives.
Really? Come on, Loke. don't reach like that. I got respect for you. Don't do a bottom feeder kind of move like that. And get the like the most obscure title that no one's clamoring about. Come on.
Loke is a bottom feeder.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that to my boy.
Can we
All right,
move on
Loke.
to the next
All right, no.
subject?
Time is up. Time is up. I
God
gave
damn
you
it.
sufficient time to look up other things. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
yo. So all of that has happened. He's got a lot of different peripherals and stuff like that to hand out to people, right? What's
I need to
going
know
on with
what's-
the games? Oh, wait, the people across the street, grass is looking pretty green over there. Really green. Shout out to Xbox, right? Green. But
Mhm.
God
I
damn,
tell you.
man, how much are they transferring you? Jesus.
I guess enough to be able to say
This
what
guy.
I'm saying right now. I'm
Right.
just
Carry on.
at the end of the day, I'm just like, what are they got? What do they got to provide from Jim Ryan after this, other than console sales or really just accessory sales and stuff like that? Like they've been talking about getting another acquisition, which I don't think is crazy. I think they need that at this point.
They do.
And I don't think
Yes,
there's
they do.
anything wrong with that. To admit,
Nope.
like, yo, it's not just a race from Microsoft with this content war. It's a race among all sorts. If you don't think Apple isn't out there shopping right now, you tripping. Apple's, I mean, they're launching a phone that plays whole ass AAA games.
That's a different situation.
It's not. It's all gaming at the end of the day, and everybody's trying to get their slice of the pie. So if Apple can acquire a big time developer, I think they would, just like Netflix is trying to do similar stuff as well.
I think so I think with Apple they make a lot of money off of like arcade, and big time stuff is okay, but that can't be your bread and butter if you're developing an OS and like changing it every few years, because
Exactly.
it kills development. Game development does not work well, and that's like an entire issue that a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about mobile games. Is game development in mobile games is structured a certain way because they always do these refreshes, which screws up games. And for the thin margins that a lot of these people get with these like game apps, it's more frustrating to restructure a game, especially a game that isn't designed around in-app purchases.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember when
But Resident
32-bit?
Evil is going to be an in-app purchase.
No, if it doesn't have in-app purchases, lots of in-app purchases. Like, you get some, but typically the mobile versions of these games, they actually do have in-app
Oh, you're
purchases.
talking about inside the game purchases.
Yeah. Yeah, so typically these
in-app.
games, the mobile versions of these games are not, like, for example, a lot of the mobile versions of games, like especially games that were released on the DS, they'll tell you the DS version is straight up better. But they put in a lot of in-app purchases and stuff in these games because it's more profitable than just putting the full game and charging a higher price, because there's only a select few of people that will buy it at a higher price, but there are people who play it and then in-app purchase in it. But the problem is also with the OS refreshes and updates, they can kill features in gaming. Like, do you not remember when Apple threw 32-bit out the window? And it killed a whole host of games. And, you know, yes, there was the option to upgrade, but but a lot of people, most people were just like, yeah, it's not really worth it.
Right.
That is
And here's the
still the state of mobile gaming.
And she brings up a great point with that, is that that's why you see a lot of mobile games end up getting PC versions, because it's easy for them to translate the OS, because they're simplified, because they can just modify it to fit into Windows, unless they make full dedicated versions. And there's a game that's coming out today that's a perfect example. There was a mobile game called My Little Universe, where it was ad-filled, riddled with all sorts of microtransactions, trying to get you to either pay for resources, pay to pass time, or basically pay for no ads. It's getting a full released, like, prettied up version on PC as of today that's getting rid of all of those, and I believe it's like $15 or something like that, right? You're seeing a lot more of those games that are mobile focused only transitioning to PC, at least, because of the fact that they're able to get away with being able to take a lot of what they already had and just do small touches to make it fit for a slightly easier operating system to change to.
Okay, this is all very technical. I'm not gonna
Sorry,
lie.
I had a call.
It's all
For-
good here.
For me, Cozy, your explanation essentially just says that there's nothing to worry about in terms of Apple acquiring Sony. Is that the takeaway here?
No, that wasn't what we were talking
That's
about.
not it at
happen.
all.
Okay.
No. It was
Apple
more or
knows
less. Go ahead, Cozy.
Apple knows their niche. Most of their games are going to be mobile dedicated games. And I say this, I'm a heavy mobile gamer. I don't think people realize how heavily I buy games on mobile.
I'm right there
but
with
Apple
you,
knows their
Cozy.
niche.
So
You'll get some
what
high
happened with,
profile games. You'll get
yeah,
some high
that's what
profile games. You'll always get some high profile games. But most
Assassin's Creed
companies will
Mirage.
not spend a lot of development on these because they aren't going to pan out, because despite the fact that a lot of people who have mobile devices, even gamers, gamers don't operate the same as PC gamers and console gamers.
Nope. That's why you
But
see,
I
like, look
think
at COD
this is
Mobile,
a
right? COD Mobile is the
but
biggest
hold on.
example.
But hold on, I think there's a I think they're like I feel like a lot of what you guys are saying reigns true, but it's also old thinking, in my opinion. It's what I'm hearing you guys say is people won't figure it out or want to even try. In my opinion, I'm thinking, yo, they're hearing that full AAA games are coming onto a cell phone. That is
Yeah.
the sales tactic to say, hey, we are being different now. Not only do we have these Apple Arcade games, but now we have full-fledged AAA games to where that PS5 that you were thinking about getting, you now don't have to get.
They've
at the
been
same
had that
time,
though.
Hold up.
But
Hold up, Pam.
no, but hold on. This will continue to happen as time progresses. Sure, there have been other entries where they attempted said thing, but it's just like a subscription service in gaming. There's been subscription services forever. But once it actually hit, it hit. And people actually started taking advantage of it. It's getting more popular and more popular. And I think that this is a great opportunity for Apple to really rein in their own customers and say, hey, you don't need this hardware if you enjoy what you see right here already.
I agree. So here's the thing.
We always talk about, people don't need the biggest and best PC or highest graphics or 60 FPS. We always talk about that. But now we're kind of,
No, I
I
agree
feel like
with
right
you.
now we're kind of
No.
backing off of it.
You're
And I'm like,
missing
hold on a
something.
second.
Hamothy, we're agreeing with you. But the thing is, as someone who is heavily invested, I literally buy lots of mobile games. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is the mobile market is different, and it's not great for development. It's literally actively stymies development of games. The way it
So that's
operates,
what I
it
wanted to
stymies.
ask Cozy.
So
That's
is
what I
the
wanted to ask
Switch, but you don't
Assassin's
see
Creed
them
Mirage.
stopping.
No. The Switch doesn't change its OS every few years.
Yeah.
The Switch isn't
Sure,
changing its OS.
that's fair to say.
That you have to actually account for and be like, oh, my goodness, you broke my game.
Mm-mm.
Mobile does that. They actively do things that break games.
Yeah.
And
So
if you're
my
making...
question, Cozy. Hold up,
Yeah.
Cozy.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Mirage, are you saying that they had to make it from the ground up specifically to run on the iPhone?
Yes, you can't make
Yes.
this game the
Just
same way. You know how big that game is? You know how much storage an iPhone has?
Not
Yes,
a lot.
you have-
Shit, look at, speaking of that, Cozy, I was like, bringing that up, look at
Is
the
that
fact
why
that
the game is
new
small?
look
Like
look at the
short
new
and stuff.
iPhone, look at the iPhone 15 Max, whatever it is. They're using that to advertise the director's cut of Death Stranding. Look at how big Death Stranding is as a game and how graphically demanding it can be. I'll say, and they're using that to promote what the phone is capable of doing. Like, the thing is, mobile gaming is very different when you look at something like COD Mobile versus what you're getting in actual COD. Very different style graphics, very different style gameplay. Yes, it's still a first-person shooter, but they're very intuitive in different ways because of the fact that they're aiming at two different styles of players. The thing is that while these phones are definitely getting turned into basically advanced computers in your pocket, it's still the fact of that there are still technical limitations, as well as you also got to look at the price point. Yes, there's people who are going to go out and buy a brand new phone, and they're going to be like, oh, cool, I can do that. But for our hardcore market, there's still going to be the absolute that would be like, cool, the phone can do that. I'm not going to use it when I have a PC or a dedicated gaming console that can run that software, because that hardware is focused on that, not a phone. It's multi-versatile, yes, but that's not the main draw for it. It's just it has the capability, and that's what people are looking at, is that it has the capability, but that's not what they're going to focus on.
So let me give you this scenario. We already know that mobile gaming. We already know that mobile gaming is massive, right? It's the biggest part of gaming currently.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Oh, damn.
Bless
now
you.
imagine that we get a port similar to something like, Assassin's Creed or Resident Evil,
Resident Evil.
but instead it's FC, Madden, or 2K, and you can play versus people on console. Do you think that ain't gonna switch things up drastically?
No, because
get-
again, the hardcore crowd is already dedicated in what they're wanting and know the expectations they have.
I
They
disagree.
may look at it. Here's the thing, like
I
I have a
wholeheartedly
Samsung.
disagree.
Hang on,
You're
no,
talking about
no.
hardcore, dude.
This
The
is listen to
hardcore is
me.
not on Madden. Hardcore is not on Madden.
But again, I was to say most people who play that who only look at it this way. Call of Duty and sports games are big sellers to that specific crowd. However, they're not the ones who are always going out to buy the biggest and best when it comes, because they just want something that's going to run what they can get, right? However, there are some who are dedicated that play those that want the best. When it comes to something like mobile device, there may be an interest in it, but that's not going to be the draw. Look at this. I have a Samsung Fold 4, right? I got this because of the fact that it's a multi-versatile tool. It can run a lot of my editing software on the go on my mobile device. It's also great for organization. However, I like it because of the fact that it's great for being able to play games on the go. However, I'm not going to go play something graphically demanding like Death Stranding or anything else like that on my phone because of the fact that it doesn't run well, and the controls while having the touch devices is not always the best. Even with using a controller, it's still because of the fact of the native latency to run a lot of those is so heavy, as well as it makes my phone so hot. I'm going to play a game like Sea of Stars, Octopath Traveler, or even Dragon Quest, something that's not as demanding that fits on a mobile device. Hell, I'll go out and play Mega Man X on my phone
You think
because guess
FIFA
what?
is
It's a
demanding?
side scroller.
You think
But
FIFA is
see,
demanding?
but see, that's I feel like we're choosing when and when not to say people will want the performance better
Which
or
ones
something
of
like
us
that.
here, though,
Which one?
play
No, no, no,
console
no, no,
game,
no, 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 no,
play
no. Time
mobile
out. Time
games?
out. Let me finish, Cozy. Let me finish.
Okay.
All the time we always say, oh, the casual doesn't care about 30 FPS. Oh, the casual doesn't care about these graphics or something like that. But now we're saying that they care because it's on the phone, because you wouldn't play it.
No, I'm saying
that's
that
kind of what
a
I'm
lot
saying.
of those are.
What
you're
we're saying is the two of us are mobile gamers. That's what we're saying. We are mobile gamers, so we are active in the mobile gaming experience and know exactly what's going on amongst mobile gamers. Like, I'm big on like
I
Pocket
have a
Gamer and
hard
stuff like
time
that.
believing that you're not going to be able to drop a current 2K and that iPhone ain't going to sell like hotcakes, and you're going to start seeing more mobile players than you've ever seen before.
Hold on,
the
on,
thing
Bloody,
about it,
hold on,
but
Bloody,
that's
hold
the
on.
thing
Matt
about it.
hasn't said anything.
That's the
Hold
thing
on,
that we're
hold on.
coming from. Me and
Bloody
Cozy are
nuts.
agreeing on here, Sam,
Breathe.
is that or
Bro.
Ham is that
Bro,
mobile
nuts.
gamers
Let
are
Matt
set
go,
in what
dude.
they want.
Bloody Knox, please, just breathe. Matt, you wanted
Oh,
to say
trust me, I'm
something like
relaxed.
5 minutes ago.
Matt sitting
You
there
wanted to say
being
something
quiet.
5 minutes.
I'm just listening. What's going on?
I heard you say something 5 minutes ago, and then one of us drowned you out, probably me, and then you kept quiet. Do you have anything to say on this?
About mobile gaming, like
Mobile, yeah.
I mean, as for myself, I'm not particularly like I don't really have an interest in it, so I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can really speak too heavily on it because it's not my thing. I can see both sides of the argument. I mean, Cozy brings up the point of constantly switching OSs. That definitely makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to understand it, but that makes sense as to why it would make it more difficult to make it fully take off But I do see what Ham is saying, where if you're putting something, FIFA, NBA, Madden, whatever, on a mobile phone, I can see people going like, okay, well, I'm getting a phone anyway. Why do I need to buy whatever else there is to play FIFA, Madden, 2K? So I don't know. I personally wouldn't, but that's just me.
And
In my
what
opinion,
we're
I'm just
saying is
saying
we
to
get what.
not I'm just saying to not expect exponential growth sometime down the line. Whether it's next year, in 5 years, or 10 years, I think is just like kind of putting the blinders on yourself a little bit. Because I really think this stuff, as soon as, I mean, sure, you talked about latency, Bloody. As soon as that gets wiped out, what are we talking about?
I mean, that's fair, but that's where I was also bringing in the other aspect is that it may draw in, but the fact is that you also got to think that when it comes to mobile, right? You have two dedicated crowds. One that's going to be on iPhones because you have the Apple heads. Then you have Android. And then along with that too is that when it comes to mobile gamers, they're very set on the specific titles or types of games that they're going to play. They very rarely stray far away from that specific niche or genre that they're playing. That's why you think that there's so many different types of gotcha games, because of the fact that they're trying to fill every genre that fits within that specific type of gameplay that they can use to then milk those very few select gamers. And I know because I play 17 different gotcha games on my phone. I get sucked into those, but the thing is, I'm not going to put money into them because of the fact that I know how that whole system works. I know the loop of it. I look for ones that have very interesting gameplay that fit in a very unique niche and genre that work within that style. That's where it comes to difference on mobile gamers, because Cozy could play several different types of mobile games compared to what I play. And I'm not going to go out of my way to play those games because they're not what I would want to play on my device. Just like what I play may not be what she plays on her device, even though that's something that is capable for both of our phones.
I buy those
That's what
$5
I'm
to
trying to
$10.
get.
I buy those like, maybe most $10, 10 to like, $2 games. I'm like that crowd. Buys that $10 single purchase, $10 to $2 single purchase game. Like, the holy potato games that are available on other platforms. Like, I'm like, why would I play that on another platform? It's perfect for mobile. There's another game called Slayaway Camp. Why would I play it on another platform? It works perfectly fine on mobile. Rhythm games. I buy plenty of them on these are the kind of games. And
And I look
How
for the
about a
free to play ones
Vampire
because sometimes I don't
Survivors?
always want
How
to.
about a Vampire
was
say
gonna
Survivors?
so I'm actually gonna say Vampire Survivors does not work as well on mobile. Uh,
Really?
I actually, yes, I played through it and I was like, yeah, this is better on. It just does. It's the touch controls are just not as good.
I've played Vampire Survivor. That's where me and her will disagree. I played Vampire Survivors when I would go pick up my girlfriend from work, and I would have to be waiting for her for a while outside. I would pull up my xCloud on my phone, and I'd play Vampire Survivors. I was like, outside the latency, I enjoyed the fact that I could play it with touch controls because all I gotta do is move my thumb and just move it around in a direction. I felt that game was great for mobile and great for having the touch controls. See, that's where it's different.
xCloud. I played it the actual download.
Yeah. See, you did the actual download. I did it differently. But see, that's where we're trying to make the point here, Ham, is that as mobile gamers, we may both be liking the same thing. However, we have two different approaches and what attracts to us and what doesn't attract to us. That's what we're saying, is that even if you have these big name games, doesn't mean that it's going to suddenly bring in so many people to want to get something like a brand new phone to be able to play that game, especially if it's already on something that they have. That's why we said is that mobile gamers are very set in certain ways.
I'm with Matt. As far as mobile gamers being set in their way, they're set in their way because of what's available to them. I think behaviors change the same way. If your salary goes up, if you only got paid like $5,000 a month, that's what you spent. When your salary goes up to eight, in like our in a 6 month span, suddenly you're spending $8,000 a month, right? I
Yeah, and you
think
don't even know
these
how it
mobile
happened. You just were
games,
like, I thought I was just living the same way, but you're not.
yeah,
You
Hmm.
naturally
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
Lo,
I
I will.
think
I will agree
I,
that disposable income also plays a
Lo,
and big into it.
I just want to say that's not absolutely true. As someone who's been in the mobile gaming, like serious mobile gaming community a long time, freemium games went out. That's what happened. Freemium games went out. People were making all these premium games, and guess what? The freemium game with addictive policies won
uh,
out, and
Hmm.
so people were just like, well, whatever. Premium
okay, so
won
my
out,
point, so
and
my
that's the
point
big problem
was,
in mobile.
Yep, that's also
Well,
a big aspect too.
accessibility is probably a big problem with that, though.
okay, so my
What?
point with the whole upgrading of what's available is the crowd will change. The crowd is changing. There's people right now that will tell you, like in Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa, that are playing hours and hours of COD Mobile or whatever just on their phones, right?
Yep.
When when that video came out of iPhone 15 that you can plug it onto a TV and it essentially works like a console, right?
Hmm.
Millions of views. People were losing their minds. I had people that don't play games talking to me about, hey, did you know that Apple now has their own console? They misunderstood the entire video. People on
But
Facebook taking that
what?
video, sending it to my WhatsApp and being like, dude, because they know that I'm a big like gaming guy, and they're like, dude, did you know that Apple now has a console? You need to buy the new fifth iPhone. I think I'm gonna get it. And these people that are on Android, right? So what happens is, in my opinion, a lot of people that are into these gotchas or whatever will start to dabble into full priced games.
Oh,
And
without a
then
doubt.
No,
But
they will.
hold on, guys. When they dabble with Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil, or whatever, right? Like every single habit, it'll grow and grow and grow. I'm not saying the gotchas will disappear because we all need that game that you can play for 5 minutes, right? Those won't disappear. I'm not saying that they'll disappear, but I'm saying that the platform will definitely grow in terms of the amount of people that engage with an iPhone, that will go out and buy an iPhone or buy an Android and will be looking forward to buying full AAA games on those phones to play them. And from my personal point of view, you guys know that I've been struggling trying to figure out how I'm gonna get a freaking Steam Deck or Ioneo or whatever, one of these mobile things, because of my work and traveling and whatever. For me, this was exciting news because because then I'm like, oh, I don't have to figure out how I'm gonna take a PlayStation into the plane and then where I'm going to store it in the hotel as I'm uh, out and about at work in the provinces. Now I just have to buy a new iPhone. I just have to buy a new Android, and the phone that I use, I can just get back to the hotel room, plug in the cable on the basic TV they give you in the hotel room, and boom, I've got my console. So for me personally, this is exciting and it changes everything. And I think it will translate for everyone else as well.
well,
Now go
Loke,
ahead
let
and
me
debunk me.
the only thing I'm gonna tell you right there is, what if I told you that that's been a thing for years and
Thank
people are
you.
only taking out it?
Yes.
I would say the only reason you and other people are getting excited about it now, and this is nothing against you, I'm just speaking in general, is that Apple is selling this literally on. If you had a Samsung Galaxy S10, 20, or anything like that, I've been doing that for years because all you need to do is use a USB-C and you can plug it into anything. I have a specific mobile monitor when I didn't have a laptop that I would use to take when I would go on trips or anything like that. And I would just plug in my phone through the cable into that mobile monitor and be able to play games like that. I was like, that's a thing that's been around for years, and people are only talking about it now because Apple is making it such a marketable focus.
Exactly.
Right?
And but I argued
Yes,
that
it's
earlier, and
reiterating my point.
but hold on a second. I
Go ahead.
argued that earlier by saying, yo, PlayStation had cloud gaming, but it went
You don't have to
nowhere
sell it,
until
bro.
it was
Drake
marketed
said it.
properly.
Drake said it. It's not about who
Exactly.
did it first. It's about who did it best. We're not discussing when this thing was instated or whatever. We're talking about its viability today moving forward. That's all. When it started, dude, that's for the history buffs.
So
But
the
that's what
other
we're saying
problem,
is that it's been viable
so
for a long
it's
time.
we've been so like if you've been in the actual mobile gaming community, these are conversations we've been having, and we've been told ages and ages. Finally, this is it. We're gonna, they're gonna take mobile gaming seriously. This is like when it happens. It's, you can go back to like several, years back when, mobile gaming as a thing, like Civ 6, and this sort of thing. Where like, yes, we've heard this before. That's
But what I'm saying is, you guys sound scorned from hearing it before and thinking and continuing to say it will never happen because you were scorned in 2015
No,
because
it's
you
not
thought
that.
it was
It's
going
just
to
the
hit
fact
Because
and it didn't
everyone
hit
keeps
then.
saying,
But
everyone keeps saying,
who's
this is
everyone?
a
We're
cycle that
new to
happens.
talking about
Not
this.
everyone.
We're new to
the
talking
general
about
public
this.
and other developers. I'll say
This
that's
has
what it's
been a
saying is that the
thing.
general public.
This has been a thing. This has been a thing where they say now is the time for mobile gaming to hit the AA thing. It has been a cycle.
But back in that time, was Xbox acquiring mobile studios? Was Sega going out of their way? Was Apple going out of their way to try to get AAA budgeted games? Was Sony going after? That's my point. Is like these obvious big entities are making a move. And I keep
they have
hearing
always
you
been making
two,
moves.
but I'm specifically saying you two keep telling me, yo, don't believe the train is coming. And I'm like, yo, I can feel the tracks rumbling.
But that's the thing is that what you're saying is that you think that a lot of these companies have had these major mobile developers for years. Look at ABK. We look at specifically Activision, Blizzard, King. King is the developer of Candy Crush, the biggest mobile game out there. You look at the Bethesda umbrella. Umbrella or under the Bethesda umbrella, they had Roadhouse or they had Road Dog. And they're a mobile developer. That's what we're saying is that a lot of these companies already had mobile divisions. I was like, they've already had a focus on it. It's just they are not.
And Call of Duty's big on mobile, right?
Everyone's making out.
No, Call of Duty's big on mobile. We're not going to cap and say it's
Call
not.
of Duty Mobile. It's
Call of Duty Mobile has its own separate crowd because traditional Call of Duty players are not going and playing COD Mobile. I was like, if they play COD Mobile, the traditional Call of Duty players, whether they're
how is it traditional when they're the majority now?
Because of the fact that COD Mobile plays significantly different than what Call of Duty, if you go and play Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone now, it plays completely different than what you're getting on COD Mobile. If you have people who play
I don't deny
COD
that.
as it is on console, I was like, I've seen the people who play COD on console who go and play COD Mobile, is that they will go, especially on PC, is that they will go and get they'll use a program to replicate the operating system of Android or iOS, whatever they want, and then install that on their PC and then play either with mouse and keyboard or a controller to play COD Mobile, because the fact that they're not going to play it the way that it was intended or on a phone because they don't like the way that it plays.
All I'm hearing you guys say is, hey, if there was consistency, it'd make more sense. That's all I'm really hearing you say is, hey, if there was consistency from this platform over to this platform, then it makes sense. But since there isn't any consistency with the OS, there's no consistency within the games between the two, the way they play, there's no consistency here, that, or there, that it doesn't work. But my whole point is I think that they're going to be bringing that consistency down the line. What's the point of all these devs and different companies trying to jump on this train at this point in the game? Xbox is trying to give you cloud gaming, and now they're trying to give you an app on your own phone for them themselves. Why wouldn't they
Everyone's
try
always
to
been trying
make
to jump
that?
on mobile.
Sure,
Yeah, everyone's
but
been. I was like, it's the fact
but
that
how
everyone wants to
hard
dip
has
their
it
toes
been?
in.
How hard has it been lately compared to past? Be honest. How hard
It's
has it
always
been lately? No, not always. They've always in depth. Sure. How hard has it been lately compared to 10 years ago?
it's been a lot easier. I agree with that. It's been a lot easier, but it's been a lot easier over several years. The problem is as that
Consistency.
time has changed, the mobile gaming market has drastically become its own thing that's very different. And
Yeah.
if you're in like the mobile gaming market, the people who actually actively buy games on mobile, it's a strange experience to watch these changes because you've been like, I'm one of those people that honestly would have bought a game like Resident Evil, but the problem is the people that would buy games like Resident Evil, they got screwed over when Apple decided to no longer support 32-bit architecture. They remember that, and those are the buyers, and so people then ask questions. The kind of people who buy into mobile games and are actually heavily invested, they start asking questions. The kind that aren't whales, the kind that aren't just doing the in-app purchases. They start asking these questions, and then people say, "Well, you should probably not do that for here's why."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking the same reason a random person out there would be interested into this phone and seeing what they're seeing from AAA and stuff like that is the same reason I feel like somebody like you is interested in getting the new Meta Quest.
I agree, but I think like at this day and age, most people are less flexible with their ecosystems. So MetaQuest
There's already
for
a ton
me,
of people
that's
on iPhone.
Yes, but there's a ton of people on iPhones, but not a ton of people that are what I'd call enthusiasts.
Mobile centric.
A $60 game on a mobile device is completely an enthusiast price point. No one but enthusiasts.
Because you're talking about
Cozy,
a
what happened?
$1,200 phone over a $500 dedicated console to play the same $60 experience, or in some
No,
cases
guys,
$70.
guys, you're missing the point. This is why I also think Game Pass is dangerous, or not dangerous, but effective. The install base, they have the captive audience. iPhone has the captive audience. They just have to funnel this stuff in. What's going to happen?
I
Someone's going
honestly
to
think
sample it, and then
they could
someone else is going to
probably.
sample it.
No, what I'm
And then
saying
what's
is they
going to
could
happen?
probably sell the
iPhone
game.
is gonna funnel even more AAA. And then when there's even more AAA, what's gonna happen? The people that weren't catered to with just Assassin's Creed and Resident Evil will see more variety in AAA, and they will try one, and that's all it takes. The same way with Game Pass. All Game Pass has to do is get you with one game, and then you're hooked. Same thing with the whole AAA on iPhone. They have millions of people. They're gonna keep putting in AAA games. You're gonna have racers and all these. As soon as one person buys one of these and they hit, that's it. Now they know that okay, this is what I do on my iPhone. It's okay to do this on my iPhone, and it's going to happen with everyone else. But
I
carry on, George.
agree with what you're saying, but what I am saying is that $60 is like people that are like, I only play games in 4K, 120 frames. That is the same market, the same type of market, ultra niche. Ultra niche. Like, for example, I would buy Resident Evil just to test it out, but not at $60. Maybe at 15, maybe even 20. But God forbid, more than that, no. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of the mobile market is, they're just like that. Yes, you got millions of people with these devices, but the problem is the
They're
millions
more
of people with
price
these devices,
conscious.
they are, yes. In fact, you know what you could do? You could literally probably sell them, break up that Resident Evil game into like let's say
Arc.
Chapters, kind of like
un-
Walking Dead.
like 8 chapters. Break it up into 8 chapters. Sell it for like $5 each chapter, and they would totally buy it. But guess what? $60? That's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Or even better, I was like, you think that Resident Evil 4, right, has 3 major areas. You have the island, the village, and the castle. Maybe guess what? You get the village area, $10. You get the castle area, $10. The last area, the island, $10. $30 right there. But guess what? If they really want to buy into it, they'll do it that way. They'll piece it out. They're about
Guys.
piecemealing.
Guys, they made us get used to DLC. They made us get used to microtransactions on console. You think they
Mobile
can't
gamers love microtransactions. They do not love a big price tag. Mobile gamers, yes, they will buy. They will spend $300 in microtransactions, but tell them to buy something for $300 straight up. Oh, that is a problem.
I think they can learn how to spend money like the full price game. I think that's going to happen. Conditioning is possible both ways, in my opinion. The same way we got conditioned to accept mobile standards on console, because that's what it is right now. We've got a whole bunch of games, incomplete games, which would be fine on mobile. We have accepted it. Maybe not us here on this podcast, but if you look at the numbers of like the amount of sales and whatever for these games, Diablo, etc., we have accepted it in terms of AAA, AA on console and on PC. We've accepted it. I think it is possible to switch it around and make the mobile market accept the $60 game, the $50 game, maybe not the $70 or $100 game, but definitely the 50 and 60. I think that can work.
How does an ant eat an elephant?
What?
How does an ant eat an elephant?
Slowly?
One bite at a time. It's
Okay.
easy. It's always going to be easier to sell someone something in cheaper pieces than for the majority than one lump sum.
And
That's
that's
why
how
we say
people will
gaming-
get the iPhone.
And that is
That's
mobile
really
gaming in
pushing
a
it.
nutshell.
Ham Solo, Apple
Oh.
spokesman.
Ham, I just had a. I just,
Wait.
just
Who
had
up here has an iPhone?
Who
Not
has
me.
an iPhone?
Yeah, here. You have an iPhone, don't you?
No, I do not.
Wait, am I the only one here with an iPhone?
No,
Am
my
I the
wife
only one
does
here who's
though.
like
No, but my wife does.
why don't you have an iPhone? Get an iPhone.
Why don't I? Because I
Improve
like
your life.
Samsung. I like Samsung.
Ugh,
Yeah,
you're
I agree.
disgusting. I'm gonna be honest. I only have an iPhone because I always get my phones for free, and the person who gives me my phones always has an iPhone. But that
Listen,
Samsung camera.
I was like, I don't like
Oh,
Apple
that
because I work for
Samsung
Apple.
camera.
Listen, Apple is not that great either. I was like, I've worked for Apple. I know how they work. I was like, I know how
Oh,
the
no.
operating system changes. I was like, I don't like it. It's
My
literally
phones
the
are
worst.
so
We
that's
went,
actually the
like,
downside
way
of
off the rails
that's
here,
actually the
guys.
downside
Let's
of
refocus. Come on, guys.
Apple
Come on.
is that the iOS
Okay.
the apps are tied
Cozy.
to the
Cozy,
OS.
focus.
Okay, sorry.
Focus. All right. What's really disturbing here? What's
He gave her the
disturbing is
he gave her the captain.
we
Look at
were
me.
supposed to be
Focus.
talking. We were supposed to be talking about freaking Jim Ryan, and
I
we
know.
ended up at mobile gaming.
I'm so good at
This is
derailing things. I
heartbreaking.
apologize. I'm so good at
Next
derailing.
thing.
I
Let's go to
think
the
it's
next
a
thing.
reflection. I think it's a reflection of the impact that the man had. Let's Jim Ryan, enjoy your retirement. We will see you never, I guess.
Be right back.
Never again.
Moving on.
Yes.
The FTC revives its
Wait, what are your
challenge.
thoughts on Jim Ryan? You didn't give your thoughts on Jim Ryan.
Oh, Matt's been waiting to hear your thoughts on Jimmy.
Oh no.
I've been very, 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 very patient. All right.
Quiet. You've been
I'm sorry,
saving all
Matt.
your energy for this.
I'm
Right.
trying to hear what your thoughts on Jim Ryan.
Listen, the man has been objective. There's no opinions here. Objectively, the most successful PlayStation CEO ever. Like we've sold the most, not
Business-wise, yes.
They have sold the most consoles. They've sold the most games. Like in every objective metric.
Yeah.
Jim Ryan is the PlayStation CEO GOAT.
Yeah.
Right?
Did the
How do you
PS4
feel?
outsell the PS2?
No.
All right, fine. Besides the console, but everything else. All right. During his tenure, because we can't forget, the PS2 did not sell. The numbers for the PS2, you cannot attribute them to one specific CEO from beginning to end. You actually can't. So technically, he's still the numbers still say that he's the best. Anyways,
Why are you getting so technical? Give me some feelings.
I'm trying to be objective.
I want to thank all of you
Uh,
for your unwavering
as far-
support
oh,
for
God.
PlayStation.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
Horace, look, can you continue? Come on, brother. Bring it home
As
for
far
us.
as my personal, non-objective opinion on Jim Ryan is he kind of sucked. Like, man,
Thank you.
couldn't hold the controller. I didn't like looking at him on the screen. It didn't inspire confidence. Not that
And
Nope.
his
like
performance,
games.
not that his performance was bad or anything, but I'm just saying in terms of like selling himself, right? He wasn't good at it, which is ironic because he worked in
stunk.
marketing. He worked in marketing, but he couldn't sell himself. If Jim Ryan showed up more times, like more often, with the PlayStation, I think would have sold less consoles. So
Probably.
Jim Ryan
feel that.
specifically, right? His performance with PlayStation, I think top notch, one of the best ever. But his optics is just terrible. And obviously, some people can come here and say, "Oh no, I'm not worried about the CEO's optics." But guys, it's 2023.
I am.
This
I
this thing
agree.
about trying to silo people, organizations and reputations and all, it's all mixed up. It's a salad. Make peace with it. I'm sorry. It just
Can,
is what it is. All right.
I'm
It
not
matters
worried
I
that
about
people
the
like.
principal at the school up the street. You know, like,
yeah.
hey, come on, like
Can I
you gotta
Yeah,
be worried
can
about
I
the things
say
that involve your community and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
dude.
the
There's a
people?
reason. There's a reason the Dodgers went to Magic Johnson and offered him a percentage of Dodger Nation. There's a reason. All right. It matters the people that show up and say, "Oh, I'm in a leadership role." It matters. But go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off, Matt.
You're good. I was just gonna say to both of your points really is I've seen a lot of people say the first part of what you said, or not a lot, but more than I would have really expected or anticipated.
Okay.
Where it's
Mhm.
like technically you look at the business numbers, phenomenal, amazing. It's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, I could give a fuck about the business numbers,
Because we're
dude.
not
Like,
we don't make
that's
a profit when Sony
and
makes a
that's the
profit.
thing. That's the thing. Like Sony cares about that shit, obviously, and they should. They definitely should. But like, as a gamer online, just in the community, if your whole thing when Jim Ryan steps down is like made Sony a lot of money, you stink. You stink. Because I don't care if Sony made. Dude, there's a guy when me and Ham were doing like an emergency stream in the chat who comes in, he supports your guys' channel. I'm sure he's a great guy, but it's like Xbox is in third place was what he said. It's like, dude, if third place gets me what I've got this year, what I'm currently playing, Starfield, then sign me up for third place. I'm happy with third place if that's what third place is going to get me.
Fun games.
So it's like exactly if it gets me games that I enjoy and are fun and engaging, then sign me up for that. Like,
And I will keep the same energy that I had a couple of months ago, guys, when I said I didn't care about these corporations. When they talk about, oh, Game Pass is not sustainable, so by 2027, it's all going to come down and Microsoft's going to close Xbox. Guys, not one iota of me will panic when Microsoft says they're shutting up shop and moving on. You know why? Because I am not personally invested in this thing. I make no money from Microsoft. There's no profit or loss here. I'm
See,
here
the
for
the
good
only loss
games.
that anyone
I'm
would
here
feel is the
for
money
fun.
that they put into the ecosystem. That's the only investment, quote unquote, any gamer
But
makes is what they spend their money so they
all
have
right,
that personal
so
library and what they put into. That's the only thing that we have. Because if they shut, like if Sony and PlayStation close tomorrow, I feel bad for anyone who dedicated their entire everything to Sony and to PlayStation, because that means all the thousands of dollars they potentially spent for their library and everything else just basically is just, it's not going to be supported. It doesn't matter at that point anymore. Same for Switch owners and Nintendo. Same for us on Xbox. That's the only thing that people should be concerned about, is that it doesn't matter if they make money or not. Is the only thing that we need to make sure is that if anything happens to them, how that affects what you're going to do. Because some people are just like, if my favorite company just ended, I don't want to put money into anyone else. Same for PC, except PC has, Steam, Epic Game Store, GOG, all that good stuff. They have 17 different uh, storefronts, but it's all still on PC. But if one just
so
stops supporting, guess what?
just
They
like a
know that
sub
most of those will
discussion.
be.
Hot take, guys. I guess it's going to be a hot take. I'm guessing you're all going to disagree with me, but for me, I'm not really stressed about it. Like if Microsoft closes in a year and I lose all the games that I paid for and it's just done, fini, kaput, whatever. For me, it's like kind of whatever, dude. I bought the games, I played the games. Life is moving on for me personally.
Games
I'm
are
not
experiences.
stressed. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
not
Games are
stressed. I'm not stressed about keeping it here with me. I know it's important, games ownership and whatever, but it's kind of an implicit risk that you get into. Like I buy a Land Rover and then Land Rover gets bought out by Mahindra and now Land Rover won't make Defenders. So now my parts for my
You got a
Defender.
Land Rover? Excuse me, Mr. Moneybags.
Dang.
So so when the prices go up for all the parts of my Defender, it's kind of a risk that you get into or that you agree to when you purchase anything, really. The only thing, right, that is yours, like properly yours, is the land that you live on and the house that you built. And even then, they still make you pay property tax, which is like, how am I costing anyone by this being mine? But that's a discussion for someone else, for someone else to have. My point is, when we invest into these things, phones, computers, whatever, I don't look at them as infinite uh, investments. I look at them as very finite investments, and I quickly move on. The Xbox One, I'm moving on. One X, I'm moving on. Series X, I'm moving on. When the Brooklyn comes out, I'm moving on, etc. That's how I look at it. What do you guys think about a potential future of Xbox is dead or PlayStation's dead, and then you lose everything?
Well, I don't think that future is. I know at least with Microsoft, I know they've done it before, but I don't feel that future is in their path anymore because they've designed servers and such around long-term existence, and also the fact that their games are largely, at least the games I care about, are largely available on Steam. Um,
Mhm.
so I'm not super worried about like, oh, this is gonna be gone, and I'm just gonna have to. But at the same time, I'm not super worried also because of the way I experience games. For me, games are experiences. And I know people will be like, "What? You don't care about preservation and collection?" And I really don't care about preservation and collection. I admit it. Preservation is a little important to me, but only for games that I feel like were peak experiences. A lot of times I don't feel like a lot of the games that we're talking about are peak experiences, so I'm like, I don't even care. Like, for example, Sims 2 being abandonware is probably the one that hurts me a lot.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I'm like, I don't care what games are played or not played. So it doesn't. Yeah, I'm in a similar feeling to you, Loke.
Okay. I thought this would be a very hot take. All right. Bloody, Matt, Ham.
Yeah, well, like I said, in the aspect of the future of if one of them just were to be gone, it's one of those things that for me personally would suck because I like to go back and play a lot of what I have. I was like especially a lot of classic games. Like I still tell everyone probably one of my all-time favorite games that left an impression on me that I go back to periodically is BioShock. BioShock, I was like BioShock opened up my eyes philosophically as it did storytelling wise because the entirety of what that game was trying to communicate left such an impression on me. I have it tattooed on my wrists. I was like, I wouldn't say that if a game didn't have some sort of impact. Just like there's others that I'm wanting to get done for all those experiences as Cozy mentioned here. But at the same time, I want to be able to have that chance of being able to go back and be able to relive those experiences. The thing about games is that sometimes it's those experiences the first time that you play it that are special, but it's always to be able to go back and relive those experiences that are also enjoyable. Why do you think retro gaming is such a popular thing nowadays? Because the fact that people want to one play something they may never have played 20 years ago, or they want to go back and replay. Why do you think that even to this day Mega Man and Mega Man X, that whole series, so popular? A lot of those things are so popular because of the fact that some people want to enjoy it, other people want to relive it. Other times people are just like, I never played that, so let me experience what other people did. If any of these companies were to just disappear, it would be a very devastating thing for people who loved what they had, especially if there's no way to be able to recover anything, right? Gears of War is very special to me. Halo was a very interesting game here. I mentioned Crash Bandicoot and a lot of classic Sony titles back in the day. They left impressions. If I wasn't able to play anything that went back to those, all I would have is those memories, which is nice, but it's not the same as being able to relive that. That's just my personal take on it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, here's the thing, I'm not worried in the sense that I don't think it's going to happen, or at least not going to happen anytime soon enough
Soon.
to be worried about. So I'm not worried in that aspect, but I don't love the idea of like, oh, like Xbox can disappear and then, well, that's it. Your money that you spent on Xbox is gone. Same for Sony. People, honestly, buying digital on Nintendo. I do it myself, but I know like buying digital on Nintendo is just kind of like you're kind of screwing yourself when you do that. With the way they handle things. But like, I don't love that idea. But at the same time, I'm really not too worried about it ever happening anytime soon.
Ham.
Timothy is gone.
No, I'm
Oh,
here
Oh
man.
no.
still. I was muted. My bad. No, I'm definitely all about preservation. So anything,
Mr. Physical.
yeah, I want things to remain alive. I mean, even if, like, let's say Xbox or PlayStation goes down, I want the games I purchased to still work and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So,
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
like if anybody shuts down, I hope they get rolled somewhere else. That's all I can say. I hope they get rolled somewhere else so they can continue to keep some of these servers and things like that on that we
Yeah,
care
that would
about.
be fair. Yeah.
I mean, whatever happens to whatever platform, I don't care what their name is. It could be Sarah Lee Series X. And as long as my games fucking work, I'm happy.
Good.
Yeah, I don't care.
Paula Dean Series X.
Jimmy Dean. Jimmy
Obviously,
Dean's
all the butter.
PlayStation.
Listen, guys, I don't know about y'all, but
Apology.
I'm about to buy that Soldier Boy console. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Stop
there you
Oh
go.
yeah, Soldier Boy.
Stop it.
Will
My
dance for me though.
goodness, this man's out of his
Soldier
mind.
Boy,
Oh.
sell them.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Man,
All right,
that makes me want to crank that Soldier Boy. That's Superman.
Okay.
That Okay, you
Now,
guys
what
don't
be
understand.
you anyway?
No,
The
I get
Federal
that.
Trade Commission
How
plans
young
to
do you
move
think I am,
forward.
Cozy?
The
22.
Federal Trade Commission plans to move forward with its administrative case against Microsoft's $69 billion buyout of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard. The FTC announced its plan to move forward with its in-house trial after a pause put in place during the summer. However, without a preliminary injunction, the FTC cannot prevent Microsoft from closing the deal before the October 18 deadline. Activision Blizzard executive Lulu Chang Mesavei tweeted to say the company is, and I quote, focused on working with Microsoft toward closing. How the FTC uses limited taxpayer resources is their decision. The FTC's internal judge will hear its arguments on why Microsoft should not be allowed to buy Activision Blizzard 21 days after an appeals court rules on whether the deal may go forward. Bloody, any thoughts on this one?
The FTC needs to give it up. Almost 3 times now they've tried. 3 times they've been shut down. 3 times they keep bringing this up and keep being made to look like fools. Lena Khan at this point is so desperate to get some sort of mark or win under her name to show that she hasn't been a total waste of government power and taxpayer money, is that it's starting to just look absolutely pathetic. Because the fact that, one, it continues to waste more money, waste more governmental time. It's wasting I was like, as a business for Microsoft, it's wasting their time. I mean, they have all the money in the world basically at this point because they have some of the best lawyers fighting this here. But the fact is that so many different judges and so many different other legal experts have continued to say that with everything that's been done, with the fact of every other major country supporting it, finding no issues. The other biggest one was the EU with the CMA and all that. Microsoft was able to work out a deal with them, say, hey, look, we'll revise it. They just showed off the early talks about the new deal propositions, and even the CMA is just like, yeah, this will work for us. If that works for them when they had the same complaints that were being shared previously, and yet you're still going to try and use the same excuses and the same arguments that you've been using for the better part of a year and a half, which has already been proven to be false. You have no case, no arguments, and no evidence that backs up the claims. Because we've seen that a lot of the experts that they supposedly bring in don't have anything that backs up the arguments that they've been showing here or that they've been trying to make. Why do they think that this time is going to be any different? I was like, it looks pathetic and is just a waste of time. And honestly, there's a reason why all the people around Lena Khan have stepped down, because they know that this is going to burn their careers. She is literally going down in a giant ball of flames, and no one wants to be associated with it. It is honestly a laughing stock at this point, and I want them to just stop so we can stop talking about this until it's done.
Lena Khan is a Dallas Cowboys supporter.
She already didn't
I'm
take
assuming.
ownership for her failure the last
That
time.
was cold,
Exactly.
bro. You didn't have to say
And look,
that.
hey, that's fine. I was like, she can be a Dallas Cowgirls fan all she wants. I was like, they still garbage.
But the fact that she didn't take
Oh.
ownership last time already speaks volumes.
Exactly.
She was like, "Oh, we failed because because my team, the other people,
My
not
team.
me."
My team.
Mhm.
God damn. Ooh.
We all remember when she like basically blamed the failure on everyone but herself.
Yeah, and
And
court.
Even though she
judges
led the
called her
even though
out.
she led the she led the charge, and then she was like, "Well, we failed because they them."
And she got scolded for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
as she should. Like, you can't be
It was
like,
embarrassing.
you can't be like, this is my responsibility, and then be like, I don't want my responsibility anymore. If you understand that reference, you
What
probably
the
don't.
what?
You gotta
Yeah.
You don't understand that
Rugrats.
reference. You're too young.
I don't know.
See,
What's
you
it
don't know the
doing?
reference. I don't want my responsibility
funny, though.
anymore.
You're
It's
talking
funny
about the
though.
Rugrats. You're talking about Rugrats, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
Rugrats. Yeah,
Like,
Rugrats. Tommy takes his watch and throws it and says, I don't want my responsibility anymore. That's what she did.
Don't act like I
That's
didn't watch
exactly what she
Rugrats.
did.
I didn't watch Rugrats. I didn't.
But did you? No, you didn't watch the Rugrats first movie in theater? You're missing out.
I didn't watch the
First movie was
I didn't-
great.
I didn't watch
First
the
movie was,
cartoon on Nickelodeon. I was on Cartoon Network. Nickelodeon for me
So-
was just yawning, bro. Just
I'm sorry that you
You're
missed
tripping.
That's
classic
devastating.
Klasky. No,
Yeah,
Klasky
well.
Supo owned Nickelodeon, and you are wrong for not watching all their programming.
No,
Yeah.
They were back
Sure.
to back to back bangers.
Luke is definitely wrong.
Sure.
I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
Sure, guys.
No.
Matt,
Yeah,
thoughts on the FTC reviving like the Undertaker?
I think it's about time for them to wrap it up. They need to go ahead and wrap it up because this is embarrassing. I'm like, Cozy brought up that point of Lena Khan in court getting scolded for not taking responsibility, and at that point, I got like secondhand embarrassment for her. I don't even know her, and it made me cringe like
Mm.
heavily. Where I was like, I feel like they shouldn't be doing this because this feels cruel. But then at the same time, look what she's doing. Look at what she's doing. So it's like at this point, just wrap it up because this is embarrassing. You're wasting money. It's not cool. Let's get it over with. What is this? The fourth time they're gonna be coming back to fight? Like, dude, just go. Stop. Get
Damn,
out
Matt.
About
Damn,
your
Matt.
arrest record. What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Man, you want some too? You better wrap it up.
You gotta remember.
All right, Ham, go ahead.
Oh man, I mean, I agree with Matt. This is ridiculous. I don't really understand why they keep going after it. My whole thing is if you're going to do anything, I mean, look at what the CMA did. They're like, come back one more time. Let's figure this out. And they actually drew something up together, and it's looking to be approved. No matter how skeptical you feel about it, I think it's gonna happen. I'm still like, God damn, like it's just wild. It's just absolutely wild. This whole situation is crazy. And as we were talking about previously, and here's me stirring it up again.
Of course.
Sorry, Loke. I apologize.
Stir it up.
But it's real interesting
Hey,
that
little darling.
And they
Yeah.
stir it up.
Go ahead, Ham.
it's real
Fine.
interesting. It's real interesting that right around this time that this is happening, somebody's leaving the industry. I mean, take that with take that however you want, but I just find it mighty convenient that somebody's like, you know what? I've been taking a lot of trips and I'm tired.
I'm tired, boss.
Okay, I got that reference as well.
Mom, I
one.
want to go to bed. Can we just call it a night? Please. I'm tired.
But you didn't get the responsibility reference, Loke, so you're
No,
unforgiven.
I didn't. Unforgiven, like WWE. Anyways, we good on this one?
You can
Ham?
say they got a no way out. There you go.
Pretty much.
I'd say so.
Yeah. I agree with what you guys are saying. The FTC needs to just
Let it go.
This is worse than the Streisand effect, you know? Like, just make peace with
They
it,
just need
dude.
to embrace their inner Elsa and just let it go. Let it
Yeah, yeah.
go.
My niece says Nani go, Nani go. She loves Frozen. But she says Nani go,
Nice.
his little baby. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Lina
adorable.
Khan. Lina Khan, just Nani go. All right. It just you know what? Lina Khan should be the next CEO of PlayStation. That's what she
No,
needs to do
Oh,
I
right
yeah.
want
I've
now.
seen that J
PlayStation
Damn.
to
Rock post.
Yeah.
succeed.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, she should do it. I have
I,
faith in her. All
I'll
right.
give you
drives her
that
Time
straight
post.
into
for
the ground.
PlayStation. It's time for PlayStation to have their first female CEO. That's what we need to
I
do.
don't think
Lina
that's the
Khan
first female CEO you want.
was
I
I
don't
don't think
think
that's the
so
first
either.
female CEO
I
you
don't
want.
wish
I'll
that for
say
PlayStation at all. That's
I'll
trash.
say yeah. You would see that whole company be burned to the ground.
Yeah, like that's not the first female CEO you want of a no. That's just
like, if
no.
you're
You don't want
going
that.
to do that, just give it to another man. Is that what you're saying, Matt?
Give it to another man. Give it to a female who knows what she's
Who's
doing in that
qualified?
position. I mean, yeah, give it to anybody who's qualified. Anybody at all.
Give it to anybody.
Who's
But
qualified?
Besides
I mean,
Lena.
that's why I say I'm with everyone when I say that when Phil's done, I was like Sarah Bond gonna take over because that woman right there is
She deserves
qualified.
it.
She's the face. She deserves exactly. She is qualified. She puts in that work.
Yes.
Loke looks like he needs
Is
some
Le-
convincing.
Does
Pretty
does
weird.
Lena
I'm
Khan
thinking about
put
it.
does Lena
I'm thinking
Khan put in
about
that
it.
work, Loke? Does she put in that work?
Hey,
I'll
she's
I'll put work
consistent.
in on you.
I don't think
She's
you
Giggity?
will,
consistent.
Cozy.
Yes,
She's
I will.
consistent at being
Hmm.
bad. That's what Lena Khan is.
I think Lena
And
Khan
I
could
mean-
shut down ideas just as good as Jim Ryan.
let
I
me
was like,
finish, guys.
what she's good
Guys,
at is wasting
we
money.
want
And
no, guys. We want competition in gaming, right? Lena Khan will drag PlayStation down so far, right, that we will have actual competition. And then after she's done with PlayStation, she should go and be the president of Nintendo.
oh god.
And then we'll have like proper industry parity because Xbox will be slightly above PlayStation, right? PlayStation will be just over teetering, right?
Not if Lena Khan's there. That thing will shoot right past
And then
PlayStation like a meteor.
and then Nintendo will come all the way down and it'll be parity. So you know what? In a
You're
way, Lena
drunk.
Khan is the solution for competition. That's what I'm saying. Vic the Click says,
Look, giving
okay,
out
I'll
tips
take
on how to ruin your company 101.
pretty much.
Yep.
Don't listen to
Pretty much.
Loke.
Fire Lena Khan.
Don't listen to Loke.
No,
Victor
never.
Click says, I'll take the job, guys. I'll be the best pony ever. Rachie says, female CEO are great if they're skilled. I think CEOs
Exactly.
in general are great if they're skilled. So, yeah, your point
Exactly.
is
Look at
Exactly.
Lisa
taken,
Sue.
bro.
Lisa Sue's the CEO of AMD,
Lisa
and
Sue's
she does an
killing it.
amazing. Yeah,
She's
she's
killing it.
completely helped to bring AMD back.
Devolver
I'll be the
Digital, if I'm
CEO
not
of you.
mistaken. Devolver Digital, if I'm not
Sorry,
mistaken,
that job's
is
already been
being run
taken.
by.
Akumu beat you there, Cozy. Sorry.
No, not like you. That's gross. I mean, like I'm like both of y'all CEOs.
No, it's not even gross,
The
girl. Why
last
would you even
topic
think
of the
like
day,
that? She's my
Capcom's
boss.
president thinks its game should cost more from VGC. According to a report by Nikkei, Haruhiro Tsujimoto was speaking during the Tokyo Game Show about several topics, including the increasing cost of game development. Haruhiro, in my opinion, right? I'm not even talking about the article, needs to speak less, right? We've never spoken about Haruhiro, but I think this is the first time and the last time we should hear about this person for like 5 years. Anyway, let's go back to the article. Tsujimoto reportedly said that he felt game prices should reflect these increasing costs that you have
Ugh.
arbitrarily elected to increase. Back to the article. And that they're currently too cheap. Gamers are too cheap. Okay. This is
Yeah.
the quote, right? This is the quote from him. Personally, I feel that game prices are too low. Development costs are around 100 times higher than they were in the days of Famicom NES, but the price of software hasn't risen so much. There's also a need to raise wages in order to attract talented people. Stop paying the CEOs. Stop paying all the big wigs. Stop. Given the
I think
wages that are rising across the industry as a whole, I think the option of raising unit prices is a healthy form of business. Fuck
But
Haruhiro Tsujimoto. Fuck him all the way back to Japan.
I don't think this is
Go ahead,
something you
Cozy.
can actually look at Japan and say, you know, because especially talking about the wages and stuff like that. That's like not the whole like low wage like thing is like really more Western.
Wait,
It
Like
really is.
the CEOs in Japan do not get paid disproportionately more than
they do, but not like they
Okay,
do in the
moving
West.
on to
They
the
are.
next point. Cozy. Just because they kill less doesn't mean they don't kill. Stop it. All right, stop
You
it.
know what? Shut up, Loeb. What do you
when we
even
were
know? You live in
discussing,
Texas. You do not know about anything.
I don't live in Texas.
You're
Bloody
you're
nuts.
still busy trying to suck up oil through a straw in the ground. Okay.
At least
Oh
we have
my
oil. Anyway,
god.
We know about
bloody
your
nuts.
people.
Bloody nuts. Go ahead, bro.
Um, I agree that CEOs need to make less. I was like, they all need to take a page out of Keanu Reeves' book and give up most of their wage to help cover the costs and paying the employees.
Man, bro.
I'll say because most of them have more than enough money to ever need anything ever. I was like, most of them have several $1 million, like multiple millions that they aren't needing anything, right? So especially this, I was like, look at what happened to gaming back in the 80s and 90s when gaming software costed 80, 90, $100 before. Yes, I understand that there is a talk about how the cost of gaming has stagnated around $60, although we've raised it to 70 over the past couple of years here. But the fact too is that there's a bigger push for digital games, right? I was like, yes, there's a lot of us who
Excuse me.
want physical still. So a lot of people said, if there's such a push for digital only, why don't you cut the cost of physical printing and just go digital? Guess what? Then you're not making an expense on manufacturing physical that you can then just focus and utilize that to help pay off. Because then you have companies like I Am 8-Bit, LRG, Pixin Edition, and other companies like that that'll work to license and make special customized physical editions, right? That you're gonna get limited, so you're only gonna have a very limited run. So there's not gonna be an exorbitant cost of production for physical items that are then prepaid by, mind you, by the community that want a physical. That will help to offset those costs that he's talking about. Raising the cost does not change anything. Yes, the cost of development has gone up, but that is an issue of the industry, not an issue of the commerce, because gaming is now more lucrative than it's ever been. There's way more people buying games now than there was a decade ago, 2 decades ago, right? So you can't put the blame and the cost on the customer when that has only increased. If you cannot run or you cannot properly utilize a fair budget that can then make something that brings back anything, or be able to run a budget that helps to allocate properly, then that's a you
dude,
problem. That's a
but
you
dude.
running the company problem. It's the same thing with Square Enix. I love Square Enix. I have friends at Square Enix. They do right by me.
Disappointing.
I call out their bullshit when it comes to how they run a lot of these projects or the money that they put into for a lot of these projects, and expect a stupid amount of sales that will help offset that. No, that is not the case, especially when you are utilizing something that's either in a very designated market, a very niche market, or you're only utilizing one platform or one community to help build those sales. That is a business issue that he needs to address on his side, not put the blame and the cost on the customer.
And to add to your point, it's not even that they're not making money on these games. They're making money hand over fist, right? They're
And yep, and
making
then they complain
crazy
about it.
amounts of profit, and then we find out, right, for every million made in profit, right, 900,000 is going to the execs, 50,000 is going to whatever savings they have, and then the other 50,000, that's what's going to pay for the lower level stuff. Fuck them, bro. They have the money. They have the
Yeah.
money. They just not paying the people that are making the industry even exist. That's the problem. Matt, go ahead.
I my answer to this is pretty quick. I look at you could go across many different developers and publishers, but is anything PlayStation released this year? I'll give them Ragnarok, and even then, nah. But is anything they released this generation better than Uncharted 4 or Last of Us Part 2? For me, personally, no. Ragnarok is the closest. Spider-Man might beat it. We'll see what happens with Spider-Man. I hope it does. But then not just PlayStation, not just to make it about PlayStation, but look at EA. Is Battlefield 2042 better than Battlefield 1? Is it better than Battlefield 4?
No.
No, not at all. Like I look at, that's the problem. Like I look at games that are releasing for $70. The only game I can say would be worth $70, and I didn't buy it because it was in Game Pass, is Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
And
You don't know
that's
about
why
games.
exactly, Cozy. But I look at like Red Dead 2. There's not a game this generation that's released that deserves to be $70 more than
that's crazy.
yes,
That
more
is
than
wild.
retroactively Red Dead. So it's like
I wouldn't touch that game.
I get it, but it's
It
like
is in depth. It is a massive undertaking, that game, on how much is
yes,
in it.
it's a stupid amount of detail, a stupid amount of content. It's nuts what is put into that game. Like, and then you look at something like Elden Ring, $60 versus, what's been $70 that's launched this generation that beats Elden Ring, that firmly beats Elden Ring and cements its place as better than.
Starfield. I think Starfield
Yeah,
is better than Elden Ring.
but I look at Starfield so differently because with Starfield on Xbox, I get it in Game Pass. I didn't have to buy that.
But the thing
That's not-
is, a game
no, we're
that
talking about good value right now. I think
Sure,
Starfield's
yeah.
worth $70.
I do too. I 1,000% do. But I'm just saying I look at it differently because most people, yeah, that's worth $70, but they're not going to spend that because it's in
They
the
don't have to.
service. Yeah, they don't have
But
to.
I did spend the $30+ to get the thing.
Same here.
So I already spent money. Even though it was on Game Pass, I was like, I'm not waiting. And if it wasn't on Game Pass, I would have just been like, let me throw out my money and take my money.
And I
I've been
agree
like,
about
take
Elden
my
Ring.
Exactly.
And this is Cozy we're
Exactly.
talking about. For anyone that watches this channel on the regular, Cozy does not shell out money for just good games, right? Even if you're good, she's like, I'll see you when you're $30 or less. So
Hey, she's just a
if
conscientious
Cozy
gamer.
is willing to pay $70 for something, we're not talking about just good games. We're talking about like freaking all-time great. Maybe not the best game of all time, best game of the generation, but definitely Starfield, one of the best.
I just, to wrap up my point, I just feel like if you're gonna be making statements like this guy made, then you need to be offering things that justify those statements.
I mean, this is Capcom.
And they aren't.
Yeah,
Capcom. They had Exoprimal. Let me see what's happened in Exoprimal today.
And what's weird about that is Capcom's weird because they released Resident Evil 4, one of the best games of the year, the remake, $60. They've been releasing their games $60. So to hear all of a sudden to hear this guy to be like, oh, $70 isn't crazy, but we should honestly be charging him even more. It's like, what?
Capcom makes good games with great but I think Capcom has been on a roll, and I think it's made them, because let's be honest, for the longest time, Capcom, something that most people I think don't realize is
lull period.
But no, and the longest time they were riding on Monster Hunter, not Monster Hunter World even, but there are other
No.
Monster Hunter games on the on
mobile.
the Switch and mobile. Not the Switch, the DS and mobile.
The
Those
DS
were
and
like
the 3DS,
basically
all those.
yeah,
Yes.
those were basically making the money. And then they
That
had
and
like
Street,
you know
that and Street Fighter. That was their
Yep.
only money makers. Was
Yeah.
that and Street Fighter.
You remember,
terrible.
you
Nobody
know,
was
what
exclusive.
brought actually Resident Evil back was Resident Evil Revelations, which was also a 3DS game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when like, oh, we need to go back to our roots. But so like I'm like with whatever Capcom is saying, I'm like, ooh, the biggest whatever. Yes, I love a lot of Capcom games, but I remember when you were down. I remember when you were down. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've had a resurgence, a wonderful Cinderella story, but
For
this
the-
president has the wrong thinking like that.
For the sake
hold
of,
on. Silent Cypher gifted 5 TSWS gaming memberships. Thank you so much for the support, Cypher. You're the MVP. Ham, go ahead.
yeah, for the sake of our podcast, because we still need to get through a couple other things before we get up out of here.
Oh shoot!
I'm just
time.
gonna I'm gonna
pretty
keep
much
this
it.
real short and sweet. This person talking about games should cost more. Until you give me games that don't that aren't broken on launch. And until you guys can successfully, consistently give the audience games that aren't going to be saying silly things like, sorry for these issues, sorry for this, sorry for that. Don't ask me for any more extra money.
Whenever
Like
you're not
it.
trying to
It's
nickel and
that
dime us
simple.
for everything. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Like
You're
Trump.
already giving me $70 games that are performing worse than a big time $60. Like, so
Yep.
stop asking me for more money when you don't even, I mean, come on now. I'm going to go take my car to get serviced and somehow it comes back still broken, but you want me to pay you? No, son, that's not how that works.
Forget it.
I give you money for a service. You give me said service for exactly every dollar I spent. So I want everything to work properly. Sure, you might need some updates. Sure, there might be a little bit of here every once in a great while. In a great while is what I'm trying to say. Not consistently, in a great while. But no, that's not the situation here. The situation is day one patches. The situation is busted ass game that everyone's still loving and playing because they're just managing through somehow. But what ain't weird is we ain't giving you 45 and saying we'll give you 15 later or 25 later. No, we got to give you our full ass money. So you got to give us a full ass game. I don't want to hear anybody talk about we should pay more until you give us more. I'm gonna keep it simple like that. Let's move on to the next topic, though. I hate to stifle us right there, but we need to keep it pushing.
We do. I realize the time.
I love it when Ham's like, I'm gonna make this quick, and then he loses it mid rant, and he's like, no, fuck this. I want more. I want to say
Because
more.
Ham is a loser. Oh, whoa.
Just in case we don't have the
damn.
time to do it, we essentially have 8 minutes to go. But just in case we don't have the time to do it, Bloody Nux, we give out $10 vouchers for all platforms to one lucky member in the chat, and our guest picks whoever they want to get the voucher. So you can pick someone in the chat because you like them, they were funny, or maybe even if you don't like them, whoever. But it has to be someone with the TSWS icon right here next to their name, the little planet shape thingy. So pick someone.
Got it. I say we give it out to Rachie. Rachie's been a very
Come on, man. No,
Rachie!
no. Rachie gets it like every week. What is up with that?
Stop! Come on. not
Okay.
Reichi, but we all love
You know-
Reichi. We love you, Reichi. We love you.
Okay,
We
pick
love you.
someone else because even Reichi is kind of feeling bad.
Dude, last week
rejected.
Raichi was like, last week he got
He's like,
picked.
"Yeah, I'm good.
Last week
I'm
he got
good."
picked, and he said, "Please give it to somebody else," because I'm pretty sure he was like the last person I gave one to as well.
He's
Oh,
like
yes.
And
he's
there's
like
so
the
many
most common
people.
pick.
He's so many.
Oh,
There's so
really?
many other
Everyone-
people in the chat, but for some
Everyone's
reason,
like Reichi.
every week he gets picked.
Reichi's MVP. Reichi's MVP.
He is,
and
he is.
Reichi's
I mean, that
always
just
like,
shows
you know,
that
basically
support.
like
That's real shit.
Double
Yeah,
it and give
yeah,
it to the
Hey,
next.
you know what?
Yeah.
That just means that everyone likes him. But even if Reichi comes in incognito mode in another account, they still gonna pick him somehow.
Probably.
That's what I'm hearing.
Probably. Also,
All right, fine.
real quick, Reichi, we did speak about this, Ham. The amount this week is $20 because nothing was claimed last week. So yes,
Mhm.
$20
What?
to whoever. Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
right.
I say we. All right. So if I'm switching, let's
Okay.
see. Let me take a look at who's in the chat.
Suddenly,
Let's give it to Vic with the motherfucking click.
hey,
Oh.
finally.
Hey, okay. I like
There
his,
you go,
I like
Vic.
his post that he had on Twitter as well with us
Whoa,
and stuff
whoa.
like that. I thought that was pretty dope. He watching us on the 65-inch TV. I was like, God
Pretty
damn.
much. Yeah.
He said
Damn.
Logan's head's bigger than I thought, or something like that. I was like,
I
God
cut
damn.
my hair. All right.
Who does have a massive
my hair.
cranium? He has
No,
a
Your
massive
hair.
cranium.
no, it's just that I cut my hair.
Nah,
Your
you have a
hair.
massive cranium.
It
Your
shows
hair just
more.
less hair just emphasizes the fact that your cranium is massive.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
he had a big head. Welcome to the club. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I
It's
got a
okay,
big
yeah.
head too, bro.
You know,
Logan,
guess who
Vic,
doesn't
you're
have a
right,
big head?
dude.
I don't have a big head.
I got a
Logan,
double
it's all
right.
XL
I got-
helmet
I got a
right over
pointy head.
there.
Cozy, you got a
I'm-
huge head.
I do
I-
have a back. I do have a back button though. See, look how back.
Cozy,
it
I
sticks
would
out.
not be. I would not
Quit
be
poking
speaking
your
on
back
your
butt.
on your body because I have enough problems with HR. So let's keep it
Alright.
moving. Vic, you know what to do. Reach out to us on Twitter and we'll hook you up. Next one.
Yeah, just reach out to me
Fable has-
personally, Vic. So then I see you in the DMs. I know we've been saying the whole TSWS thing, and I'd appreciate it if you guys follow that on Twitter because we post in that as
Please.
well whenever we're doing the show and
Please.
stuff like that. But as for the vouchers and stuff like that, just DM me. It's so much easier, so I can just get right back to you because the TSWS Twitter isn't connected directly to my phone, so I don't get access
Doesn't
and
take
see,
all the time.
and that's where I send it from. Is my phone.
All right then. Victor Click says Richard Cranium. Okay. Let's move on. Fable has reached a playable state, says the producer. This is from Insider Gaming. The next Fable title has now reached a playable state, according to one of the game's producers. The new benchmark regarding the game's progress was shared on LinkedIn by Playground Games' VJ Gill, the producer who is leading production relating to the game's cross-discipline work stream consisting of gameplay design, technical design, gameplay animation, engineering, VFX, SFX, UI, and more. Updated
All
their
the
profile
effects.
to list new details about their work on the game. According to Gill's experience section, his work includes preparing and facilitating regular game playthroughs and build reviews with key stakeholders. Who here is excited for Fable? I am not. I have never
So excited.
understood why people. I've never understood why people liked the games. But you guys can go off.
Damn.
Dude, I have been so
Well, I am.
excited for Fable since they canceled Fable Legends because I love Fable was the game that got me interested on the OG Xbox because every time my friend would come and hang out, I had a PlayStation, he had an Xbox. He would always bring Fable and Knights of the Old Republic. Those were the games that got me super interested into the platform when I was younger. And they have always been hilarious, fun, unique style RPGs. And I was sad when they basically shut down Lionhead. They canceled Fable Legends. And the series basically was just in limbo for so long. When they showed that trailer and the original teaser, I knew it was Fable right away because I recognized the symbol of heroes, when they showed it on the sword. When they
What do
showed
you
the
know about
trailer
symbols, heroes?
the guild seal, it's a symbol of heroes. It was literally on the hilt of the sword. As soon as they showed that in the first 3 seconds, I knew it was Fable. Because if no one could tell that that was Fable from those 3 seconds, they're not a Fable fan. When
Not
they
gonna lie,
showed
I'm
the
not a
trailer,
Fable fan.
when they showed the trailer at their E3 showcase at the Xbox Bethesda showcase this year, the way that it's looking, the humor they're going for, and the icons they're using, like Richard Iwadi helping to write as a British comedian, is pure genius for this game, and I cannot wait to see what they do.
All right.
Yeah, dude, that dude's
You heard
funny.
it from the horse. It's his
Very
mouth.
dry
Is that
humor, but funny.
is that how they say it? From the horse's mouth?
Horse.
Yeah,
Richard
but you gotta
Iwadi's
put it.
dope.
His mouth. I like it.
Yeah,
It's his
we
mouth.
heard it from the horse's mouth. Fable's gonna be good. I don't know. I didn't play any of them. But you're the horse's
Mhm.
mouth, so we heard it from you.
All right.
And you're a Fable
Let's
enthusiast.
agree on this one.
I
Nice.
am.
Nice. All right. Cozy, are you psyched for this? You wanna give it a go?
I don't really like fantasy that much. I'm tentatively excited for Avowed, only because I like Pillars of Eternity and Obsidian. But other than that, I'll try Fable because it's on Game Pass. But I'm not really a fantasy enthusiast. Like, can we not do something that's different in fantasy? I don't want high fantasy anymore. Can we give me like more Shadowrun type fantasy?
If there's high fantasy, is there low fantasy?
Is like no, so
Mid
high
fantasy?
fantasy is like the olden days and like whatever fantasy, but I
Yeah,
want
but
more
why
things
call
like
it high? Why call it high if there's no
I
low?
don't know, but
That's
that's
all
what
I'm
it
saying.
is. But I want more things along the lines of like Shadowrun. Like give me like elves and orcs in a cyberpunk universe with
Okay.
laser guns.
Fair enough. Matt, you psyched for Fable.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Matt, you're basic.
Simple, straight to the point.
It's okay. I'll be
oh,
basic with Matt.
Well, you don't count. You're a guest, so I can't call you basic.
I mean, I call myself basic, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
Because he's incredibly basic.
I'm not basic.
Yes,
In fact,
you are.
I actually had someone yell at me about my game taste recently. Like, you're so picky. You don't play anything.
You're so basic.
Matt. Sorry, Ham. Fable. Go ahead.
Ab doesn't play video games.
Yeah,
At all.
I've never picked up a controller in my life.
He doesn't even know what video games
don't
are.
even know how to hold them. Don't even
Stumbled
understand
into
how
this
to.
podcast. That's
Yeah,
what
just
Shout out to
just
Jim
stumbled
Ryan.
into all this stuff that I have. Just sat in this seat. But
Silent
anyways,
Cypher with the $2 super chat says low fantasy is Leisure Suit Larry. You know what? We need to get more low fantasy. That's what we need.
that is low.
Loke,
That's a good game.
That's
Loke, I'm pretty
excessively
sure.
low.
I'm pretty sure, Loke, that you're someone's low fantasy.
There we
Oh
go.
snap!
Jesus. Jesus.
That was
The
cruel.
the only person that didn't get it, is freaking Bloody, because everyone else gets it. Bloody, what happened was there was some peeps trying. They
Peeps,
stopped.
what year is it?
There was some people trying
Hooligans.
to get,
Some hooligans.
trying to pay
Scoundrels.
to sell them foot pics and foot videos.
Why
Some
didn't
ne'er
you?
do wells.
You did it right. You took the money, right?
Why didn't you take the money, Loke?
Exactly,
Are you
right?
like,
Yo, Loke.
I'm
Loke,
so principled.
Listen, Loke. I was like, you wouldn't understand. I'm trying to do that. My girlfriend's like, hey, look, we got needs. She's like, you got the prettier feet. I'm gonna need you to start selling. I'm just like, listen, I need
Oh
money.
my god!
I got an idea.
This is
Yo,
insane.
after the show,
Listen.
the post show, I'm gonna tell you about an idea that can help you make money. Okay, the post show.
Gotta
Listen,
whip
Oh,
those
I
feet
got
out,
my
no
Loke.
qualms.
Whip
Hey,
'em
listen,
out.
No.
I have,
Whip out them
I have-
toes.
We will have a conversation post show about a way to make you money, okay? That I would love to make money off of, but I can't. I physically cannot. And I have this idea for other people to make money. So I'm willing to give this idea to you.
See, yeah,
All right, bet.
Cozy's gonna show you how to do the like what is it called?
Stop, Ham.
The
Stop. Ham, stop. Talk about Fable. Talk about Fable.
Oh man, okay, fine, whatever. Fable, I'm fucking hella excited for Fable. I just seen recently. I'm not sure if you mentioned it at all, but didn't the guy from Baldur's Gate, the producer over there,
I didn't
end up
mention it, but
at
yes,
yeah,
recently it was posted. Yes.
yeah. So yeah, the producer over at Baldur's Gate, which we all know over there, was supposedly a great game. I haven't played it for myself, but heard nothing but good things
Yeah.
about it.
Boring.
So good.
And
So good.
Boring.
Yeah, all set.
anyways, to hear that
I will be
that
getting Baldur's Gate, but okay.
anything else from anybody?
Nothing. No.
No.
All right, so just to hear that dude's helping produce it, I think that sounds amazing. It sounds like this game is going all out in so many different ways. I mean, from what Bloody Nuck said about the comedian that's helping do some of the writing in that game, as well as our nostalgia for Fable in general, it being one of the biggest IPs for Xbox in the past. Coming all the way down to somebody having a very successful game that is Baldur's Gate, and we're getting a piece of something like that coming our way. Not to say that that's a promising thing that means it's going to pan out, because I mean, we've seen plenty of great players go from one team to another team and it just don't work the same, right? But it gives it
Yeah.
some sort of hope. It gives it that extra, like, the way I want to look at it is like when you see a big time player that's been on that's been on another team that was all right, and he joins your team because he could see the vision. He can see the they look like they're trying to champion something, and I want to be part of that too before I end my career, or however. I don't know where this man is in his career, but I'm just like thinking he sees something good and he wants to
it's
be
the
part of it.
producer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said that at the
Oh,
beginning. I said it's the producer of Baldur's Gate 3. So I mean, it's a big deal.
so it's just some guy. Okay.
It was just some guy.
All right. That's a good point.
Just
That's a
like a
good
person
catch,
that QA
Good-
tested fucking
good.
Baldur's Gate's coming
Yeah,
over. Check it
yeah.
out.
It's like, dude, that's not gonna change much. Too big with the $2 super chat just says at cozy, laughing emoji. I'm guessing he's talking
Yay!
about
I'm funny because
about
I'm funny
cozy,
and you're
cozy.
not.
No,
Oh
he's talking
snap!
about
She said
cozy
because
probably
I'm
selling
funny
us.
and you're not.
You
Oh,
know
she's
what?
funny. She's definitely funny.
On that note, everyone, this has been one of our longest bullshitting
This
episodes.
was a long bullsitting.
Proof that Bloody Nuts is amazing, and we are very grateful to have you on as a guest. Hopefully, the next time you're on, we can keep it to 2 hours, but probably won't. Probably won't. Please plug your stuff. Tell people where they can find you, etc., etc.
And we
Yes,
had
of
Bloody
course.
Nuts recently.
Well, you can have some corn nuts. That's the closest thing to get some. Crunchy, salty, and you pop them in your mouth.
Um.
Anyways,
Anyways,
I
where can people
appreciate,
find
as always,
you, etc.
yeah, of course, of course. I do want to thank Ham for sending out the invite and letting me know to come on. Of course, hanging out with all of y'all, getting to chat cozy. It's been a minute since me and you've done anything together. Nice finally meeting Loke and Matt Games. I was like, y'all have been awesome. I appreciate it. But for those who don't know me, I am Bloody Nux, aka the Gothic Gamer, the Anime King, and more importantly, the King of the Fight Club. I do a lot of different style content. I was like, but you can find me streaming about 5 times a week over on Twitch. I also am working on bringing back my podcast, which was the Smash podcast, which is a very anime-centric, pop culture-focused show where we talk about TV, movies, animes, comic books, manga, anything you want to know. I was like, we talk about it there as well. You can find me all at Bloody Nux, BLOODIE KNUX on all platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me on Threads, Blue Sky, whatever it is. I was like, you can find me all at Bloody Nux. So I appreciate y'all all coming out and supporting these guys because they are all absolutely wonderful people and checking me out and letting me bullshit with y'all.
Yeah.
Nice. That was nice. That was very nice. I'll plug Cozy's stuff as usual. Cozy Beluga. You can find her on Twitter. You can find her on on Twitch. It's COSYBELUGA. She has a comic book coming out January 26, 2024.
Two of them.
$100 for the first edition. You guys need to put your mouth you need to put your money where your mouth is and make sure you start saving up. All right. Even if it's
Saddle
just
up.
20 bucks a month, $50 a month, we can do this, guys. $100 a pop. Cozy Beluga's comic book coming out 26th of January 2024. Matt,
Yes.
plug your stuff.
Follow me on Twitter at Matt Likes Games, and you can check me out on YouTube. Matt Likes Games videos Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesday, I do a show with Ham Solo. We're actually going to be talking about maybe changing the time for that. We'll see. But there is a show on Wednesday with Ham Solo called the Two Player Podcast. So check that out as well. That is where you can find me.
All right. Before Ham takes us out, Vic the Click gifted 2 memberships. Sorry. He paid for membership for 2 months. Says amazing episode, guys. / Wonder Woman. Nuts, LOL. Right. Wonder Cozy.
Wait. Bam,
Wonder
bam,
Cozy.
bam.
What?
What?
What's happening with the crown? It
Yeah.
has the crown, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has
Oh
the
my
crown.
goodness.
Has the crown. Has the
Alright.
crown. Bam.
Okay.
Can't
Wonder
tell me
Cozy.
anything. You can't tell me anything.
Pretty much. A Cypher also with 2 months of membership. Thank you so much. Cypher says Jim Ryan is the real MVP. Let's be honest, for sure. Also says Bloody Nux. Sorry, Lok 7's Texas accent makes it hard to understand. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Anyways, this was fun.
What
No
wrote
last
that
point
song?
this week. We need to get up out of here. Ham Solo, take us out, please. Oh my goodness.
When do I ever take us out on this show? That's your job.
That is your job.
I am under the weather today. I'm under the weather.
I'll take us out.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
do
hear
that,
it.
Cody. Go.
And finally, can we all remember that we are in this for the games? You get people talking about their tribalness of like, I support this platform and I support this platform. But can we talk about I support this game and I support this game and I support this experience and that experience? And that is fundamentally what gaming is about. So ladies and gentlemen, good night.